Welcome to Trivial Debates.
Welcome to this week's edition of Trivial Debates. We have some
zesty.
Awesome new debates this week. Each week, our panelists will be judged and scored on their arguments for facts, passion, creativity. Mainly passion, creativity. I don't care about your facts. Our panelists...
That bodes well for me. I brought no facts.
Me too.
Our panelists this week...
I'm going to win sports again.
Kevin Millard. I don't know how many wins, and I don't know how many losses, but pretty good.
It will show up on the screen in the YouTube version, though.
Okay, perfect.
Excellent.
Dave Mader.
Hello.
Lots of losses, and a Chris Seymour win.
It's only half a win because it's Chris.
I was vindicated. Trudeau won the election.
Okay,
I didn't record that part.
Yeah, you didn't record that part, unfortunately.
And all the way from Tyandaga, it's Jody Simpson.
Which, by the way, I have the best record of everybody that's currently playing.
Your
TV
game show host is the best choice.
I'm sorry. Is there anything else that we should be tracking other than wins, losing bitch?
I have good percentages in some categories.
Yeah, and you never win. That's good for you.
Dave and Jody just spent I don't know how many hours in a car driving to New Jersey, which is a beautiful place.
There's a lot of dead deers.
Yeah, we counted the dead deer.
There was, 9 dead deer?
Yeah, there was 6 alone in New Jersey.
No, 9 in New Jersey. there was 9 in New Jersey, 4 in
Pennsylvania.
4 in Pennsylvania, and 2 in all of New York State. That's all we saw.
What were you doing in New Jersey?
For those of you who don't know, we went to went down to New Jersey, Jody and I, to be interviewed for a podcast documentary called What's a Podcast, which is a film being made by Scott Holden of another show called That Man Off That Man, which is a Kevin Smith themed podcast. It's going to feature a number of celebrities and
Dave
and Dave and Jody.
It has enough Dave Mader.
Well, they only know you guys. Like, if anyone listen to this podcast, we probably only know you guys anyway. I mean,
well,
yeah, let's face it.
Do you know like Kevin Smith?
Yeah.
Go ahead and watch it next
Artie
year.
Lang,
yeah,
of Howard Stern and other things. Apparently,
I'm not supposed to say that yet.
Oh.
Way to go! You fucked the whole thing.
You fucked up the whole thing, Dave Mader.
Okay, well, like, what was that like? Well, you guys drove down there 10 hours or whatever it took.
Let's start.
It's a lot more professional than I thought it would be.
Okay.
Let's start from the beginning. I picked up Jody, and we're starting to drive, and he's like, because my car, it's got a little bit of a, it's a little loose around the wheels.
It's loose like a Taiwanese prostitute.
Oh, that's pretty loose.
Not a way you want to describe a car you're about to get into. It's a little loose around the wheels.
By the time I hit the Skyway, which was only 3-4 minutes away from my house, I already felt like I was going to die.
Yeah,
I still had 7.5 hours to go.
Yeah, on the Skyway, he's like, I don't know if we want to do this. So I was like, it'll be fine. And it was making like a weird creaky sound. I was like, it's just a car sound. But cars make sounds. Like,
Dave believes in not fixing anything until it's broken.
Isn't that from Seinfeld, the car sound?
Car sound.
It's just a car sound.
All right.
He said so.
So
we got there though.
We got at the border. We got stopped.
We did get stopped at the border.
What,
why?
You got searched and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Were you talking about stuff?
Anybody put their fingers in your
Because
bum?
apparently at the border now they have boom mics, and the boom mics can listen into your conversation.
Oh, maybe.
While you pull.
Oh, we were. Yeah.
So if you
We're talking about drugs and everything.
Yeah, then that's probably.
Well, there you go.
Make a note. Next time, don't talk about drugs. Well, while we were waiting in line to get through the border, though, I did ask you if you hid your weed.
Yeah, that could have
So
been.
maybe that's why we got pulled over.
Yeah, that's 100%.
I don't think you need a Rosetta Stone to figure that one out.
It might have had something to do with the fact, though, that when they asked Dave what he was doing and how long he was going to be, Dave's like, yeah, we're going to be like 36 hours, and we're going to Jersey and coming back. Well, what are you doing? We're going to go see a friend. That's what he said. So then the guy's like, he's like running our passports, and I'm like, yep, he's running them too long. We're waiting. And he's like, yeah, guys, go park a car over there, go walk into the building. We're like, great. Dave's like, are we going to get strip searched?
Quick drive to Jersey and back.
Two dudes in a car with loose wheels. Fucking going down there to see a friend for 36 hours.
Apparently, we are the absolute #1 hit for Homeland Security, though. They're like, those fuckers are up to no good. They're driving a red Ford.
And they're wearing hockey jerseys.
They're wearing hockey jerseys.
Yeah.
And they're talking about weed while they're waiting.
So they brought us in, and then we have to sit there and wait. And like, there's signs up that says like it's an offense to assault a customs officer. Like if you would.
Yeah, they actually have a sign there.
It's an offense to assault anybody. So,
But they specifically had a
unnecessary.
nice plaque sign
Yeah.
right where you sat that said like, here's like various regulations, like you're not allowed to bring weed in, you're not allowed to do all that stuff, right? And one of the things was you're not allowed to assault an officer, and it's like, okay, well, isn't that like common sense? Like,
Yeah, but then
number one, the guys have guns. I'm not going to assault any of those fucking guys.
That was Americans, wasn't it?
No,
Yeah,
American
well, it's
guys,
Americans,
yeah.
right? Because we're going.
They were nice guys and everything.
Yeah, they're nice.
Like, we're talking a little bit about this. Jays were still in it at that point. We're talking about the baseball. The guy was a Cubs fan
Yeah.
or whatever.
And they just lost.
And then we started talking to him about Obama, and he was like, Obama brings all his hope and change. Well, he can keep his hope and change. He can keep his hope and change.
But he got pissed off about it. It was hilarious because he's like, "Oh well, you know, Obama, right?" And he's like, "Obama can keep his change." But he got like so pissed off.
And he works for the government.
Yeah, this is a guy that works for Homeland Security. He's sitting there checking people at the border coming in from Canada,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Obama can keep his change."
Fuck our president. He's an asshole. Jody was a little bit cranky on the drive down. The
I
whole
sure was. I wasn't feeling well.
Yeah, he was like, he wasn't feeling well.
And the night before, I was cleaning up puke.
Right. So he was doing with that. He's like, next time I'm flying. Never
That's
again.
right.
I've never driven more than 3 hours again.
I now set a 3-hour radius around Burlington.
You don't like being in the car for that long.
No, I don't.
And
But
he's literally saying to this.
the drive back was nice though.
You were happy on the drive home.
Yeah,
but
but
on the
I
drive
feel
down, he was like, never again. Fuck this.
Fuck this place. Fuck New York State.
Yeah.
Fuck New Jersey. I'm
Right.
not going.
Yeah, and that went on for about 7 hours.
Yeah, easily 7 hours. I think I was still saying it at the pub when we got into New Jersey.
Yeah. They were like, never again. I'm flying. Fuck this shit.
Fuck this. We have planes. I can be here in an hour and a half. Fuck this.
You actually, if you leave in Buffalo, you can get there in like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a quick flight. I don't mind the drive. I like I don't mind driving. Like, it's not that far. It's only 8 hours, whatever. And Jody's like, I hate my life. Fuck this. Your car is gonna fall apart every 3 seconds. Loose wheels. And then we finally get to Dylan, which was lovely.
Yeah, we went to a pub.
Yeah, I hung out with his mom a bit afterwards.
Well,
You guys went all the way to Mexico?
All the way to Mexican Embassy.
They set up Dylan's house as being a Facebook.
The Mexican
Facebook
embassy, I
hangout.
saw that, yeah.
Yeah, it's now a hangout, so
I had a Dominican cigar with him. It was great.
at that point I was already past.
Yeah, Jody went to sleep earlier.
I wasn't feeling good.
Yeah,
at
he
all.
wasn't. Yeah, so we let him rest. We drank some malt liquor with his mom, and then
Awesome.
Let's get to the podcast. Let's get to the interview. Very professional. Scott Holden.
Very professional.
We get there, but he's not there yet. And then this old man answers the door. It's his
Turns out to be
Gene's
Gene's
dad. Yeah, it's right next to the.
We thought we were going to Scott's house. It wasn't Scott's house. It's actually Gene's dad's house.
Wherever the U.S. Golf Hall of Fame is, that's
It's
where
there.
we were. In New Jersey. So they interviewed us for about 3 hours, 2 hours.
2.5. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. We were right under the
They
lights.
maybe got 5 minutes of good stuff.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to say there's going to be like 30 seconds of you guys in the movie.
Oh,
If
they'd
that.
be lucky to get 30 seconds. That'd be a lot.
Well, he did say to us, he said, "You guys made a 7-hour trip here. I'm going to keep you in the movie."
Oh, wow.
Oh,
man.
I'm sure.
So that was nice of him.
That is nice of him.
Well, we-
You know, maybe we'll get a 5 seconds.
We were down there for all of us. We were promoting Trivial Debates. We were promoting the show.
People should go see the movie just for me,
And me.
and sometimes
You're
Dave.
going to see a ball rat sweater in it.
So we listened to that podcast on the way down. It was
Yeah.
one of Scott Holden's podcasts. And Melody, you know who Melody is? From the one I went to the Smarriage in 2011.
Yeah.
So he interviewed her, and we're listening to that on the way down. And he was like, "Hey, I know Dave Mader," and she's like, "Oh, he's great."
Yeah. And this guy's like, "This podcast needs way more Dave Mader."
They mentioned me a few times, and Jody was like, "This is the most boring podcast ever." Fuck Dave
This is
Mader.
terrible.
Fuck Dave Mader.
Fuck Dave Mader.
This is a terrible topic of conversation.
So cranky.
But yeah, we got interviewed. The director of photography was this guy who worked for
He works for Netflix.
Netflix and
And
Marvel.
he's producing Daredevil.
He's working on Jessica Jones.
And now he's on Jessica Jones.
Yeah, so he was showing us some pictures from the set and all this
Yeah,
stuff.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it was great. And then we finished the interview. And Jody's like, let's get in the car. We're going back to Canada.
Like, let's go get some meat for
Because I wanted to get home.
Yeah, he's like, I miss my kids.
I miss my kids.
This is what he says to me. I miss my kids.
Get away back.
I also miss Canada.
Yeah, he was like,
I love my
You were
country.
pulling over Donny? Oh, America hates
I love my Canada.
he was saying that once we got over the border. He's like, fuck this country. I want to go home.
Street now, and it's like
We missed that turn for the duty free. That was the most.
oh, that was the worst one.
That was the most convoluted.
We missed the turn for the duty free, so we ended up like being in New York State again, and we had to like literally drive for like probably 15 kilometers in different directions until we got back onto the highway to get back onto the Lewiston.
And then I bought my $10 bottle of booze at the duty free. We read
then
the
the
sign. It
duty-free
says, "Oh, you're allowed $200 if you're under 48 hours." We're like, beautiful, right? So we buy.
So we both buy booze.
And then we get to the border and we're like, yeah, we bought a bottle of booze. And he's like, pull over, go pay your.
Pull over, go pay your duty.
Yeah.
You should have told him that. Yeah, it's duty free.
Yeah, well, we thought so, but yeah, the $10 booze cost me $20 in duty.
Really?
Yeah, I had to go independent.
Well, it was $5 in duty and $15 on Ontario liquor tax.
Yeah, highway robbery.
Well, that's how much we pay for booze because that's what booze should cost.
Yeah.
And then they always add that like extra 35% on
35%, 110 fucking
That's
percent.
like, well,
on
I mean,
anything.
yeah,
Like,
I had to pay
ridiculous.
200% more than I paid for
yeah.
it.
And
The bottle that I bought a bottle of gin.
Yeah,
for-
like 100%
It's
more.
ridiculous.
I bought a bottle of gin for Candace, which is like a 1 liter bottle of gin, right? I paid, I think it was like what, $12, $13 US at the duty free.
Yours was more than mine.
That's the same bottle that I would buy here at the LCBO for $57.
Right, exactly.
I checked it today,
Yeah.
right? And they ended up. It still was cheaper because
you
I paid $27.
Yeah.
Well, they think here that if they lower the prices, we're all going to be drunks. Well, fucking surprise, surprise. We're all drunks anyway. We're just fucking poor.
We'll just be
drunk
better
now,
drunks.
We're broke drunks. Yeah.
Well, everything like that in this country's taxed, whereas in the States
yeah.
they don't tax it as much.
Yeah. So anyway, we came back. We're done.
That was it.
All right.
So the movie will be out in the spring.
Yeah.
Or
They said
summer.
April.
Yeah,
April, June is
sometime
when it's
between April
finishing
and
up.
June.
It's going to be Mader's break into Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, me and Jody. We're gonna be big Hollywood celebrities.
I pitched an idea to Scott, and I'm like, okay, Scott, we need to have a poster for this, and all it should just say is it should be an entire black poster, and just at the bottom it says, "Everybody needs more Dave Mader."
Yeah.
And he's like, "That's fucking terrible," and I'm like, I agree.
Make that a trivial debate.
But wherever that premiere is, I think we should try to go. If it's at TIFF or something.
Yeah, he's
like
trying to get into TIFF, but he doesn't know if he's gonna.
Yeah, he doesn't really know. He's never made a movie before.
it's a
so
documentary, right?
Yeah.
And how long?
Probably.
I think
90
he said the
minutes.
running time was going to be
He
like.
might be able to get
90,
into
That's
95
not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, he knows Kevin, and Kevin's
might be able to pull that off.
both good in with Tiff and stuff. So sure something could happen.
All right, we should probably do a podcast now.
Okay, so from here.
All right.
Indeed.
How this show works. There are 6 rounds. Movies, TV, music, sports, history, and whatever the hell I want. Wild card. The top 2 panelists will advance to the speed round where we will figure out who arbitrarily wins. We want people to be passionate about their arguments. Don't be a dull person on this podcast. Give a shit about
Did we
what
get
you're
rid of that
arguing
rule
about.
yet that says I'm not allowed to be mean?
I amended it.
Oh, did you?
It
amend
says, it
Let's hear
says or as much as possible. So for Jody, that means none. Because, you don't...
I don't have a filter.
That's not in your possibility.
I don't really have a filter.
That's not possible.
Keep in mind, you can also skip to a new debate by looking at the time indexes,
Which hopefully you-
descriptions, and go into the battles that interest you most. If you
Which-
don't really like the movie, go to the music one.
Let's be honest, they've already skipped all this.
Subscribe to
Let's
our
face it,
iTunes
we're
feed.
retarded.
Follow us Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Instagram. Whether
And
you listen
Vine.
on iTunes, watch it on the YouTube version. It's all there. Go watch it. We
Tinder,
have it.
Oprah.com.
Shirtspace.com.
We're everywhere.
Movies.
Ding, ding, ding.
I don't know if I can do this anymore.
Plus with your
Cock mug?
yes, your cock mug.
When I found that cup for you, I picked it up and went, wow, this is terribly imbalanced. And then I grabbed it and went, I'm a cup with the ball. And then I'm like, I'm still buying this for you.
Awesome. And what is it sold as? Is it sold as like a boot?
It's a horn.
It's a horn.
Yeah.
It's a German horn.
Traditional horn.
They have like real horns.
He has an actual horn one.
I do. I have Das Horn.
Das Horn.
And it's got a neck strap to the wrapper. Yeah.
Awesome. That's the cup version of Das Horn,
Okay.
which also he has to cup the balls.
Speaking of which, that's a great movie. Das Boot!
Das Boot's an awesome movie. I love that movie.
Yeah, Beer Fest. Okay.
Well, I'm not talking about that movie.
Movies.
I'm talking about Das Boot.
We are
Das Boot.
just the lead in.
Alright.
What is the worst movie produced or directed by Christopher Nolan? Now, I want to just put this out there. All of you guys chose movies directed by the motherfucker, and I found that interesting.
So no one picked Man of Steel.
No one picked Man of Steel, which I think is what would have been.
I
my
never
choice.
even thought of that. That's a terrible movie.
I haven't seen it, so I couldn't pick it. I assume it's terrible because it's
I like
Superman.
it. I would not. I chose not
That's
to pick
another reason to assume that it's terrible.
Dave Mader liked it. You could have won on that alone.
it. Man of Steel has its problems, but it's a good movie.
Yeah,
I've
it's
wanted
called
to see it because
Superman.
I like the
Man of Steel has a
the
lot of
actor.
problems.
but-
It's the best Superman movie.
Yeah, that's not saying.
That's
anything.
like saying.
Oh,
that's like
yeah.
saying the zit on my left nut is the best zit. Like, come on, dude.
Why is that the best one?
Now, a lot of people say
You got it.
Superman 1 or 2 is the best one, not Man of Steel.
No, I think Man of Steel is better than those. You watch those old Superman movies; they are bad.
They're terrible, but this one's terrible too.
No, it's good. It's good.
It's
Okay. Let's all just agree.
Anyway.
It's still fucking Superman.
Christopher Nolan.
I like Superman.
The reason why I picked this question was because Christopher
It's a good
Nolan,
question.
He's a good director. He's a good filmmaker. But not every filmmaker has,
No,
he has
every
flaws.
filmmaker has shitty movies.
They have flaws. You know what?
Steven Spielberg.
1 out of 10 movies might be a good one. Maybe 2 out of 10 movies. So okay. So Dave, you're gonna go first.
I'm first. Okay. Well, I'm gonna say the movie I picked. I don't hate this movie, but I think Christopher Nolan's an excellent director and producer. I think most of his work is exceptional, but I feel like this is the one kind of like dark spot on his record. And I picked Insomnia, which is a movie from 2002 or 2003, which stars Al Pacino and Robin Williams. Which is
Oh yeah, okay.
I don't think I've seen it.
no,
I've seen parts of it.
Like I remember watching it in the theater and going like I was drawn to it just by the star power. I didn't know who Christopher Nolan was at the time. He wasn't really.
He'd only made Memento. I
He
think.
made which I hadn't seen yet. And I was just like, I watched this film and it's about this cop Al Pacino who he's not his character's not Al Pacino, but it's played by him.
Let's be honest. Every character that
He's
does
being
is Al Pacino.
he's being investigated in Los Angeles for planting evidence on like this child molester and that he knew was guilty of killing somebody, and then his partner has been like forced into making some kind of a deal where he's going to testify against him, and then they get called up to Alaska all of a sudden to help investigate a murder, which I don't remember why. And then all of a sudden, Hilary Swank's there. They're dealing with her, and then they're chasing Robin Williams, who's like the serial killer of the film. And like he ends up accidentally killing his partner, but because his partner was going to testify against him, he knows it would never come across as an accident, and so he has to cover it up. But then Robin Williams is blackmailing him, and then Hilary Swank is I don't know, is she like somehow romantically involved with Al Pacino? Because that's kind of gross and then weird. And I don't know.
fucking arm flailing is like about to kill me.
I like the plot of this film is just really complicated, convoluted, and kind of unmemorable. I think Robin Williams is excellent in it, but like that's really it's only like saving grace. Otherwise, I think that the story is too hard to understand, and you're not really invested in the Pacino character. Or the Swank character for that matter, and I think Robin Williams is the only thing that really shines in it. So compared to all of other Christopher Nolan's films, I just think that this is kind of like the down note.
Okay. I forget who else. I think Amanda's brother said he would have picked Insomnia as well. I mean, it's not a good movie. Jody, what do you pick?
Okay, I picked a movie that a lot of people did like, but I just thought was really terrible and drawn out. Interstellar. Interstellar, anybody who's ever watched it, it's a long ass fucking movie, and it just keeps fucking going.
It's not worth it.
No,
Yeah.
You know what? That's a
it.
perfect example. It's one of those movies that you invest in the first hour. You're
that
really
made in
invested
14?
in it. What's that?
Was that the one that was made last year?
Yeah.
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 And it's perfect. It's essentially it's a movie that you invest your time in because it's really intriguing. It's nice to start, even though
That's
Matthew
actually why I
McConaughey.
haven't seen it. People tell me it's like an investment. You have to spend a lot of time.
But you know
to
what?
watch
The
it.
first
It's like,
the first
fuck.
hour you watch that, you're like, okay, this is kind of intriguing. I really want to see what's going on here, and it's beautiful to look at. It's a great
Cinematically
really
nice.
beautiful movie. But and then it fucking like literally at that 1 hour mark is when it just kind of goes, oh, it's fucking. They just dragged it out.
I feel that about 2001. Everybody
Same
fucking
way
loves that
I hate
movie,
that
and
movie.
it just drags.
I hate it.
I like 2001. It was a cinematic achievement for sure.
That's why I don't let. I mean, like, that's the only reason people always point to that movie. We're not talking about that movie.
Yeah.
We're not talking about Kubrick.
And just to correct what you said earlier, Nolan did actually produce Interstellar, by the way.
He directed it.
Him and his wife produced it and directed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really drawn out the characters in it. No, like even at the beginning, I didn't care at all about Matthew McConaughey's character. Like I just didn't care. But the story is what kept me going.
Right.
And then you're going, and the whole premise for anybody who hasn't really seen it, and I won't give it away, but basically it's humanity is on its last leg. We need to find a new home. You know, it's your typical go out and find something. They have a wormhole they can go through. They go through it and they explore, right? And they explore, and they got these fucking weird, like, blocky kind of robots and shit. It's one of those movies that literally you spend the first hour really intrigued in it, and then it just goes downhill from there, and you're just like, why am I continuing to watch this? And then you're like, fuck, I'm at the 2 hour mark now, I might as well just fucking sit it out. And it gets to the point where you're literally like forcing yourself to continue to watch it. Mm-hmm. And it's beautiful. It's a beautifully shot movie. It's gorgeous to look at. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the dialogue's decent. Anne Hathaway wasn't terrible in it.
It wasn't good.
But she wasn't good. Exactly. But just overall, like, when you look at the quality of some of the other movies that he's made, like, visually, beautiful movie, but overall, like, everything else about that movie is just, it's subpar. And the first hour, honestly, if they made that into, like, a 2-part movie, everybody would have loved the first one, and the second one would have sucked. Right?
I don't like what's going on with the Hunger Games right now.
I don't know.
Oh, Jesus, the fucking Hunger Games.
I'm excited for Mockingjay Part 2.
Oh, you should go with Candace then, and then I don't have
Let's
to.
keep this on track. We're talking about Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
I'm going with him.
But anyway, so yeah,
it's
essentially it's a drag of a movie. Direction, I think, was a little spotty as well. It was one of those movies that you kind of watch and you're like, well, why is he showing us this? Why is he showing us this? And a lot of the stuff just doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. But it's like filler. But it's a 3-hour fucking movie. You didn't need the filler. Like, you could have dragged that down to 2 hours and you probably would have been okay.
All fucking movies are like that nowadays.
It's getting there, yeah. For sure. But anyway, that's where I am. As for between, I can't say I'm very familiar with what you were talking about. I have seen part of it.
But the thing is with, like, okay, the reason why I picked this director was because he makes movies that, like you said, intrigue you, pull you in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if it's worth it, like Memento, amazing
Oh,
payoff.
fantastic.
Right?
Awesome,
The
yeah.
Prestige, amazing payoff.
Good movie. Yeah.
Interstellar, terrible payoff.
Yeah, the second
I
and
don't
third
think
act.
I don't think Insomnia has a good payoff.
I don't think so either. I
second
think
and
there's
third
all
act-
next movies that have terrible payoffs.
Yeah, the second and third acts are just terrible in these movies, right? And I think that's part of the thing. And I'm wondering what you picked because I don't know
Well,
what else.
what would
could
you
suck.
think he picked? If what other Christopher Nolan movie has
Dark
terrible?
Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises, maybe?
Dark Knight Rises.
Kraven, what do you
I would
pick?
Yeah.
Whatever one the third one is.
That is the Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good pick
Jesus
too.
fucking Christ with this movie.
What do you say?
You don't think they could make the Batman scary voice. You think that's the worst they can fucking do. And then they have Bane. What the fuck?
I'm never afraid of
I'll be quick here. I haven't seen your movie. I've seen mine. I know just as much about all three of them.
Especially the ending.
I didn't hate this movie. I didn't fucking watch this movie. It was on the screen.
It was
and I was just like, fuck this shit. I hate this. Because he took 2 fucking solid movies.
Yep.
And then gently laid a steaming turd on top of them.
And it was
so
really
you
gentle,
cannot even watch it as a trilogy.
That's true.
All he had to do with this movie was fucking mail it in, but instead he decided to take a fucking big shit on it.
We could have a whole podcast talking about
fucking-
the problems with that movie.
That's true, actually.
Similar to Interstellar.
It's that second and third act again.
No, but in the first
It's a
act,
whole goddamn thing. At least you got
No, the
one
first act was
first
pretty
act
decent.
of Dark Knight Rises. That
First
shot,
act was pretty good.
that shot where the plane actually crashes and
Yeah,
actually
that's pretty
shot
cool.
that.
Yeah.
That is a cool.
What happens if
sequence.
you take off the mask? It would be extremely extremely painful.
The dialogue?
But if you
Especially
want
that ending where Batman
want-
turns out to be alive.
If you want to talk about fucking
Oh.
terrible, if you want to talk about terrible dialogue, though,
painful.
fucking Interstellar has some terrible dialogue.
But you said that they had some good ones.
No, they did have some decent ones, but
My thing with Interstellar is the fact that he says Murph like
oh,
1,000 times.
Murph,
And he never gives
It's like
a fuck about his
Mockingjay in
son.
the Hunger
No,
Games.
his son's in it for like 3 minutes,
Yeah.
and then he's like, "Oh, but I gotta do this for Murph. I gotta do this for
Yeah.
Murph."
It
And
doesn't
it's
give a
like,
fuck about his son.
it's like,
though.
"Fuck you older brother."
Topher Grace, get the fuck out of
Yeah,
here. Go
fuck
back
you,
on the
Topher
70s
Grace.
show.
I took that third Batman fucking personally because I liked the first two movies,
Yeah.
and then he just fucked it up
Okay,
so
and-
bad.
See, the thing is, both of your movies, pretty good, like, attempts at a good movie. Not
No!
good movies.
Not at all.
I saw it as
think-
a terrible movie.
I think
You know?
Rises did try.
Yeah.
It just tried badly.
That makes it worse.
I think
Interstellar, same
Rises,
thing.
like, you can sit through either of your movies, even though they're painfully long. Dave's movie is like,
yeah, you can sit
what
through.
am I watching?
You can sit through Dark Knight Rises if you're doing something else.
Yeah, that's
But okay, as much as Dark Knight Rises has its problems, and it does, there are parts of it. It's still a Batman movie. There are still some good Batman fighting scenes.
Visually, it's not bad.
There's
cool
some
shit in there.
redemption to it.
No.
Not much. I hate
None.
the end with
None.
Batman sipping on cappuccinos with Catwoman in fucking Italy. That is the worst fucking part of the movie. But like,
There you go, right there.
Again, terrible fucking endings.
Yeah.
Okay, I also have to mention something. Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, she was terrible in that movie.
Both of the movies.
But
I have Hilary Swank, who is like, I wouldn't say she's the worst part of the movie. I feel like the worst part of the movie is Al Pacino. Really.
yeah, that's when his career started to go real down.
Yeah, like it's just like that movie. It's just like you feel like you want to die. You feel like you have insomnia, and you like. I feel like that was the intent,
Yeah.
but it didn't. Like it had no like. Oh, and then it was okay.
It's a movie about insomnia and you want to go to bed.
Or like
You're like, I want to sleep.
I feel like it falls out of the Christopher Nolan archetype where it's like twist ending, something different, something to kind of like make it memorable. With that movie, it ends. I think spoilers. Al Pacino and Robin Williams kill each other, and that's it. Like, and then
The rewatchability of movies like that are tough.
yeah.
Where, Interstellar, I would never rewatch because of how long it
Nope,
is.
same thing here.
But Dark Knight, I would rewatch. Just
I would
for
never
certain,
rewatch it.
just for certain
unless I was
sequences.
doing something else.
Only certain sequences. That first
It's
sequence-
hilarious though. Bane doing his stuff. He's like, it's
But
not
Dark
me.
Knight Rises, you have to admit though, like
If
Saturday
they
night,
were trying
Saturday
to be a
matinee,
campy movie, then I'd say, okay, it's a
they
good movie.
kinda
But
were,
they're
though.
not. No, they're
There's
not.
a moment in that
You
movie.
can't go from the first two movies to fucking campy.
There is
Are
a-
you fucking kidding me?
There's a moment in Dark Knight Rises where he's talking to Catwoman on a fucking roof, and then all of a sudden Catwoman vanishes, and then Batman says something to himself, and he doesn't he still says it in Batman voice. He doesn't. He's like, "Oh, that's what that feels like," something like that, and it's
God,
just like
stop it.
you're alone, Bane.
How about the scene where like he's talking to Jordan? What's his name? Jonathan.
This
Gordon
question
Levitt?
is going too long.
Oh, Jesus.
He's talking to the Blake character, and he's like, "Yeah, you came to the orphanage one time, and you were giving me that orphan look, and I just knew you were Batman.
I knew you. The overlook.
Yeah, that orphan look made me know you were Batman. You know, I was orphans, we could tell this shit."
I don't think they were trying to be campy.
I think they were kind of.
I don't know what they were fucking thinking. I don't know.
It's almost comparable to Batman and Robin.
Oh, it's not
Oh
even.
no,
It's
I don't know about that.
It's a Nolan style mindfuck with Batman.
It's Nolan's Batman and Robin.
Honestly, I feel like after Dark Knight,
And they both have Bane in them.
He was like, I can't make. I think he wanted to continue the Joker with Heath Ledger, and then Ledger dies, and then he's like, "Oh, now I gotta make I gotta get out of this."
He should have never agreed to do the sequel. Period.
Yeah.
He should have said.
Or he should have just mailed it in instead of fucking opening up his ass cheeks and taking a dump on the first two. Like, it's just... He should have just tried a little bit.
Yeah, what is it with the third movie sometimes where they just completely destroy the other two movies, like X-Men Last Stand? And
You know what they
Spider-Man
usually
3,
do that with?
and, like,
Because it's always, I have
You know,
something
they
called the
usually do
Trinity
it with
Rule.
fourth movies 20 years later.
Indiana
Kingdom of
Jones.
the Crystal Skull. Yeah.
I've got something called the Trinity Rule. It is usually goes like this. First one's good, second one's great, third one is horrible. And if there is a fourth one, it's terrible.
That's not true. Back to the Future. You're done.
Yeah.
Back to the Future, the second one was the worst one at all.
I think the third one's the weakest.
What? Are you fucking retarded?
Of what?
Of the Back
Back to the Future?
No.
Yeah, everyone.
We're talking about-
Everyone says that movie's better than 2, and I don't.
What?
No,
Yeah.
two is
is
good.
Everyone says 2's a mess, but 2 is.
Two's not bad. None of them are bad.
No.
But
Oh, no, none of them are
3
bad.
is awesome.
Why?
Why?
It's a love story.
Two is great.
It's a western.
Yeah, no, it's a love story. Is
Oh,
what
it's
it
a
is.
Western, yeah.
It's a love story
It's barely got a love story.
Oh no, it doesn't.
So
it's
good.
fucking a love story throughout the whole freaking.
That's why Doc
movie.
Brown died. Eventually.
Yeah,
No, well, he died before
He
Marty.
died in his den.
Marty, don't stand there!
If the doctor
Listen,
has taught us
born in the
anything, you
90s.
can't die when you're a time
He's
traveler.
born in 2002.
Was he born in 2002?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's not even a 90s baby.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm done. Just give us an answer.
Do you have your answer?
I think I do.
I think he's giving it
You can
to
write my
Dave.
name now. Answer.
I think he's giving it to Dave.
I'm gonna give it to Kevin.
There you go.
The Dark Knight Rises.
I feel like Kevin's movie. Kevin's movie did incite the most emotion out of all of us.
That's true. That's true.
Kevin was
We
also
all
the
we
most
all got
passionate.
pissy about that
Like,
movie.
you weren't really pissed off about Insomnia. You were sort of
I'm
pissed,
pissed
off
off about it.
Interstellar. You were
Interstellar
fucking
looked
livid.
good.
Because it was personal to me.
It's okay, Kevin.
Okay, so Kevin won the last point with Dark Knight Rises. He had the most passion, most creativity. Maybe not the most facts, but that didn't matter.
Well, you already said
I'm hoping to continue that trend.
you already said facts don't matter though.
No, you gotta fucking argue it, you know.
There you go.
And you know, I find we get the most like vitriol, the most debate when something is what is the worst something. You know, what is the worst of something?
I don't know that
You know?
debate with you and I on the Clue versus Monopoly Man guy.
That was fucking awesome.
That was I actually re-listened
love-
to that
I
and I'm
love
like,
that-
wow, that was pretty good.
I love that both of you were like, "What the fuck is this stupid question?" and then argued it. Awesome. Like
that was pretty good.
Okay, so we're going for TV now. Ding, 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 man.
Ding, ding, boom.
What is all right? TV. What is the best use of a montage? So like for the montage. In TV history, so you can pick any kind of montage. You can pick a musical montage. You can pick a montage that where they show like sports or like a game or you know. There's tons of great example. I want the best use of a montage.
This was a very hard question.
Yeah, it's
that was
not easy.
extremely hard.
And there's so many.
I had to
montages.
look up what a montage really was.
Yeah.
Well, the worst thing about it was every time I came up with a montage that I really enjoyed, it was a movie, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, for fuck's
But
sake!
I asked Ashley, I'm like, is that like a fucking clip show? Like, what the fuck are we talking here?
It's used more in movies.
But okay, but and you guys didn't pick this example, but
It's used in
the
finales
number
a
one
lot.
example that I thought of was from Lost. I mean,
I didn't like
in
Lost.
season 1, Exodus, where they do that whole montage
Of the
where-
40
where
days?
getting the boat out into the water. That's like the music, you know, makes that montage work.
Definitely montage.
But you know, Elvis. I mean, Elvis.
That's a montage?
Yeah, that's a montage.
Oh fuck, you're fucked. You're fucked.
No,
if you're
a
asking.
montage is like a series of clips to music. To me.
Yeah, that's what they're doing in Lost. It's a series of clips.
Well,
of
a
them getting-
montage technically is to show progression in something or to show a history of something.
Right. It does that too. Yeah. It can be many things.
Wait,
but
you accepted,
It's ambiguous.
you accepted my answer, so I'm
I felt like your answer
Fuck,
was a
I
little
really wanna
cheap,
know his answer
but I still
now.
feel like it's a montage, but it's more your answer is more
You
of a
used,
TV
like,
intro.
You
More
you
than-
used the TV intro then, didn't you?
All right, the suspense is killing me. Let's get into it.
All right, so Jody gets to go first this time.
All right, so I picked an episode of South Park actually, which is season 9,
I watched it
episode
last
5.
night. Watched it
Losing
last
Edge.
night. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
very good,
I
very
laughed my
funny.
ass off.
That was a funny fucking show. Basically, the montage is the whole point of the episode is the kids don't want to go to the finals in their little league, so they want to throw the games. So basically, they don't go, they don't go and win. But there's also a montage which has to do with Randy, which is who's that? That's Stan's dad, yeah. Who is training to fight the parents at these games. But the montage is done to that fucking, what's the song again?
Oh, fuck.
It's that song they use in all the montages.
You go up there.
Yeah.
Today. Never's gonna get a day down. Yeah, that song.
Yeah. Anyway, Kevin's just like, blank look.
I'm blank over here for the record.
Oh god, I'm gonna hear the Bane voice.
You're doing the Bane all night.
Oh, the Bane voice.
But basically, it was fucking hysterical, and you see like the training of.
I thought this was America. What? Is it America?
Fucking hilarious.
What show is this?
South Park.
It's called The Losing Edge. Is the name of the episode.
The whole episode is a baseball episode.
Yeah, it's about baseball. Well, it's about Little League baseball,
Yeah.
but basically they don't want to go to the finals.
Why not?
Yeah. And the other teams
I don't even
are
remember
better
why
at
they didn't want to
sucking than they are.
Yeah, and the other team sucks more, and they're still like, we gotta lose. We gotta find a way to lose. But the montage is the funniest part of the whole montage is fucking Stan. What's his name? Randy. But just the whole montage was just hilarious,
You can
and
change your answer.
it just
No, it's fine.
it just added to the show.
I feel like I might want to change mine because I don't even know if I'm in the montage realm.
It's a
Well,
montage,
think about it. He gave me the option.
But it's more of a TV intro what you picked.
Yeah. Well, TV intros are montages.
Yeah, sure.
What he picked is technically, I think, a montage.
And maybe you picked a good one. Probably not.
And it does show progression of that
But
episode.
think quick because mine's quick.
Yeah. But anyway.
I'm going last. So
But anyway, overall, just the montage added to the episode. It made it better, and it was just fucking hilarious.
My
And
favorite
I just thought it was great,
part
and
of
the
that-
music made it even
My
better.
favorite part of that montage is when he gets up like early out of bed. He goes down to the kitchen. He breaks eggs. He's
Oh, yeah,
breaking
it's
them
like
into the
blood
glass,
beer. Yeah.
and he just puts them in the glass. You think he's gonna drink it, and he just walks over to the pan.
It it's ridiculous,
Yeah.
but it's hilarious, and I just thought it added to the episode, and the theme music was it's that typical montage theme music that a lot of places use. But just overall, it was good. It's the best you can be. Never one is gonna get you down.
And he's like, "What do you want me to say, Sheriff? That I'm not good enough? That I can't beat up the other dads?"
But he's getting all pissy because he can't beat up the other dads. But anyway,
Okay,
all right.
Kevin.
All right, I picked the only one I could really think of. Was How I Met Your Mother, the slap bet montage, and the final.
Oh yeah,
Like back
okay.
and watch that when he's
episode.
playing the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just the best episodes of that show were the slaps giving, any of the slap bet ones.
Yeah.
Because it's just fun to watch fucking Neil Patrick Harris as Barney Stinson get fucking slapped across the
Gets slapped
face.
everywhere.
Like,
Yeah.
and you get fucking 9 of those in a fucking row,
Yeah.
and it's just hilarious. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It brings you back to your favorite parts of the show.
What was the other one you were gonna pick?
I was thinking Daryl Strawberry catching all the
The
balls in
Simpsons?
front of Homer.
What?
The Simpsons one I was thinking about was when he's a boxer and he's going through all
Oh,
the matches, right? It's like,
Oh, I could beat that.
Yeah.
Remember when they went to?
Fuck,
remember
we're
when
all
they-
coming up with good ones now.
Oh no! Remember the Simpsons episode where they go to Britain and they eat the candy?
Oh yeah, and then they go on a sugar rush.
They do the
Bart and
sugar
Lisa.
rush thing.
Or when when Homer goes to like Chocolate World or whatever.
Oh yeah, and he's like,
or Lisa at Duff Gardens.
Duff Gardens. Yeah.
or Homer in New York City.
I think we.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah, that would be good too.
Yeah, oh, that's the best.
What about the one where Homer has to get fit? What was the one?
Honorable mentions all around.
Yeah.
All right,
There you go, all right.
that's I'm done. That's all
Okay.
I got. I
What's
don't care.
Dave's?
Well, you're gonna hate it, of course, because you're a prejudiced asshole. But
I'm not prejudiced.
well,
I'm
a little
saying
bit.
such a thing.
A little bit. So
I
go for it.
picked Supernatural's season 5 episode.
Okay, can I be prejudiced if I think it's a gay show?
No, you know what?
Yes.
You know what? For
Like, is that
montages, Supernatural's pretty good for
They had
shit
some
like
good
this.
ones.
This is its probably its number one moment ever. It's a season 5 episode where the brothers get trapped inside this world that's controlled by like a trickster kind of.
On board now.
It's like
And I've seen this one.
It's like a liquid. I barely explained it yet,
Yeah,
guys.
you're already done. I win.
I haven't even started.
Those episodes are pretty good.
They get trapped inside like this TV world. They're trapped inside TV land, right?
I feel like I'm trapped.
So
right
they
now.
get trapped inside this, having to do like a sitcom intro, but it's called Supernatural, and they're doing credits and they're showing like the real actors' names. I even brought up the lyrics to the song
Oh, goody.
that they custom wrote for this montage. Town to town, 2-lane roads, family biz, two
I was on board,
bros,
and now I'm not.
living the life just to get by.
So Jeff, just
As
to be
we're
clear,
moving forward.
this should actually be against him.
There's nothing we can't
This is
do.
almost like he could almost pick this for TV theme.
Yeah.
Because Supernatural doesn't have a theme. They just go
Supernatural, and then the episode starts, right?
Which I appreciate.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
But this is the only time they did like a little intro thing.
Yeah.
As a montage.
If
This
this
is one of the
show, if the
best
show had been an
episodes.
80s show, this is what it would have
Or
looked
a
like.
sit- just a
right,
sit-
like there's the scene where
They're Knight Rider.
Sam opens up the closet and like, there's a ghost there with like a sheet. And he's like, oh my god, and he closes it and like
There's
just
also the Knight Rider part of that.
Dean wipes that soot on his face and then he laughs at him and it freeze
He
frames.
looks at his hand. He's like,
It's hilarious. Trust me, it's hilarious.
There was also other types too. There was a
it's not
doctor
as funny as
comedy.
South Park.
But this is just the montage I'm talking about, not the whole episode. The whole episode's great.
And there
Right.
are like you could have picked almost this whole episode as a montage because of the way
It is
it's
kind of.
shot
Yeah.
and the way it goes. It's almost a montage because it's a progression of series. It's
Different types of shows.
and yeah, different types of shows, and they're all often.
If I make
playing
fun
music.
of Supernatural, is that against me at all?
I don't watch a lot of them, but I do like the trickster ones,
I feel
and
like-
I like the ghost facers ones.
Yeah. I
Those
feel
are
like
pretty
this
funny.
is like the episode that stands out amongst all of them as probably their best episode
This
ever.
and Mystery Spot are the two best. I would
And
say.
yeah, like the one where like they crash into the real world in season 6. That was
Yeah,
really
that
good.
French Connection. That's
Yeah.
what that-
Can we move this on? Like, can I just win and be done here?
No, I don't even know. I haven't seen your thing. I don't know what you're talking
Okay,
about.
his episode is really funny, but at the same time, they redid that in the Obama episode. With Randy.
Same idea.
I
Yeah.
laughed my ass off. I watched that episode last night. I fucking could stop
I
laughing.
don't. Yeah, no, I did see the Obama.
I watched all your stuff. I watched the Supernatural episode. I watched a whole bunch of YouTube videos on How I Met Your Mother because I didn't have it. So because I don't like that show.
It's actually pretty good.
I don't like the show that much. There's some good moments in it. but-
There are, and I always like those.
But Luke always said the show was
But-
good, so therefore I thought the show was bad.
right.
But let's face it, I have the strongest pick here.
I guess.
be honest.
As a montage,
It sounds
As a
funny.
montage, I have the
it's
strongest.
between you two. Kevin's out.
I figured.
Sorry.
He hasn't seen mine. I haven't seen his, but like mine was like the highlight of an 11-year series. And would you say that this is the best moment in South Park? Probably not.
I'd say it's all right, first of
South
all,
Park
it's
has way too many
It's
highlights.
season 9.
though.
I think it's one of the first, if not the first time they ever did that with Randy, where Randy
Yes.
is just crazy and
Yeah.
So and it's hilarious.
And then they did it again. and-
Dave's version, his montage explains a whole episode. Early, but it's like almost like a mystery thing, right?
Yeah.
And,
But the question wasn't pick a montage
They-
that explains the whole episode.
But
no, I said what was the best use of a montage?
And I feel like with Supernatural's example, they can
Randy training? Come on.
Supernatural's.
Randy training?
it was
And South Park does that all the time. It's not Supernatural broke form like completely. That is not the form of their show, and that episode was completely different. And that's what kind of made that show special. Is that
I think you
once
are really
in a while,
grasping here.
I'm not. I truly believe what I'm saying. I feel like South Park has the luxury of doing that. Supernatural really doesn't, but they did it anyway. And
What are
they
you
made
talking
it,
about? They obviously have the luxury. They did it.
But that was like that. That's
It's a
like-
horror
They were
show.
restricted and they went against the rules. No, they didn't. They fucking made the episode.
That's what made
What's
it
a
so
horror show?
That's what made it so special.
Supernatural?
Supernatural's
that's a
not
comedy.
horror show.
They have
Even
some-
I know Supernatural is not a horror show.
It was scary, especially in the first season when I was first watching. When I was 22.
Maybe it was supposed to be,
I remember when Rich gave
but as far as I know, it's not.
I can't decide between you two. I mean, it's really close. Eamon, what do you think? Who do you think?
I can't decide.
You want to sleep here tonight?
You're gonna kick me out?
That's tough.
Well, I'm
I
gonna
don't
call
know
the
either.
police.
That's kind of douchey. I would automatically.
I think Jody wins the point just for
Yeah,
that.
that was douchey. I can't believe you.
There you go. Don't be a douche to your
Like,
son.
like you were really just gonna kick him on the street because he wouldn't agree with you.
I would let him sleep in the park.
Let him sleep in the park.
I'm okay with taking that away from you because honestly, that's douchey.
You know what?
I'm
What we
okay.
gotta do?
You should have said,
We
I
got
was
him.
born in the park.
We gotta get him.
Okay, moving on to music.
Speaking of music,
Who was the most influential musical artist from the 19 on today's music? Kevin, you get to go first this time.
well, I struggled with this one because I realized I don't really like 50s music. I picked John Lee Hooker.
Okay, I don't know who that is. So you're gonna have to
He's a blues guy.
Yeah.
And he started his career in the late 40s.
Okay.
Went through the 50s. Well, the reason I think he's the most influential is he even though his songs have been covered by mostly rock bands and whatever, I think he had a big influence on rap. Okay. He's one of the first artists.
You black guy?
Sorry?
John Lee Hooker.
Oh yeah, okay.
He's one of the first artists to sing about what was going on around him in an unvarnished way.
Yeah,
he was singing about killing people and
current event kind of guy.
Yeah, like a Johnny Cash, but earlier.
And worse.
Yeah.
I mean,
sure, I'll take a beer. No,
because that's all he had. All he did for the most part at the beginning of his career, he was stomping his foot, playing the guitar, and singing. So it's a steady beat, and then just kind of this dialogue that came out of him. But it's incredible. It's just incredible.
I've never listened to him, but that's really cool because I didn't expect anyone to come in here and say, "Oh, this guy influenced rap music."
Yeah, because it's not. Oh God, that stuff is disgusting. What's the matter with you? Of course it's $10. It's Black Velvet.
Black Velvet isn't that bad.
But name of a
anyway,
You don't get any now.
oh, well that sucks.
It almost sucks as much as the Rainbow.
That's not that bad.
Why don't you drink some old Black Velvet?
You don't get a downtown brown
I've lost my train of thought fucking completely.
No, I think.
But he's. Thank you.
What's that?
This
the
is
Calgary
Calgary.
Flames.
Yeah, lame.
I don't care. Sure, great. I'm a Flames fan now. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gone off the rails. It's out of my head. I don't know.
Can I win this now?
Go for it.
Yeah. Elvis, done. Let's move on.
You do the Jody.
Nothing else to explain. When you think of the 50s, you think Elvis. When you think of rock,
No, when you think of the 70s.
When I think of Elvis, I think of gospel. How much gospel
Eamon
are
thinks
you
of
got
Elvis from the
going on?
70s, not Elvis from the 50s.
Yeah.
No, okay. When you think of Hound Dog Elvis, when you think of Rockabilly Elvis, don't be, just like that whole like
You know, if Elvis was so
the black and white
influential,
Ed Sullivan.
if Elvis was so influential and everybody said he changed music forever, how come they said the same thing about the Beatles like 5 years later?
I think the Beatles. I think they both changed it, but like in different ways.
So he was influential for 5 years.
No, he was influential beyond that. I think like the extent of I think Elvis was influential his whole life.
What do you think Elvis influenced on like later music the most? Because he said rap, so that was a good point.
I think he broke through like the mold. I think he took rock and roll into the mainstream more so than anybody else in that era. And I think he kind of opened the doors for people like the Beatles. I don't think the Beatles are as successful without Elvis coming through first. Somebody else probably would have done it first, but
Well, John Lennon never would have tried to be a star if it weren't for this.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think Elvis is
rough.
If you just think about how
the
Elvis
worst, but it's
influenced
rough.
John Lennon, who's you would consider his contemporary in a lot of ways.
Right.
A couple years younger. Like so many artists influenced by Elvis. How Elvis to this day is still played, including his 50s stuff, and especially some people believe that is the best Elvis.
Where?
It's my opinion that it's his best stuff. But,
Where is it played?
Like
well, I just went to a concert
satellite
hall.
radio.
I went to a concert hall 2 weeks ago, and there was an Elvis impersonator, a Buddy Holly impersonator. I had to go to like a senior hall, basically, right?
But
it
aren't
was-
Elvis impersonators mostly jokes?
No, this guy was really good. He wasn't a joke. He was like
Okay.
I've heard some pretty decent Elvis
He did
impersonators.
50s, 60s, and 70s Elvis. So
Because to me the mostly
It's hard for me to argue against Elvis because I like Elvis, honestly.
most of 60s Elvis is movie star Elvis, right?
Terrible.
So except for like
68.
until like comeback Elvis.
What songs were
Which is
the
like the
50s?
fat- version.
Give me a couple.
Like Jailhouse Rock.
Okay, that's the
50s music? Yeah. Like Hound, you ain't out of mud.
Okay. So those
Love Me
were
Tender,
pretty
that's-
much his best years.
Yeah.
Teddy Bear.
To a lot of people, the 50s, that is Elvis. Like, not like the older...
The
bloated
70s.
Elvis or so much. The 70s, like him in like the jumpsuits trying to be like Elvis
Well,
Liberace.
he did the 69 comeback, and that was...
Yeah, like the 68 comeback.
68, that's right, you're right.
But to me, like, I think when people think of like Elvis, like, there are people who have the appreciation for the older Elvis, but I think when you really think Elvis, you think 50s Elvis, how he influenced John Lennon and a whole bunch of different artists, and how he changed music forever. Like, he basically made black music popular to white people, is what Elvis really did.
Absolutely. I have a question for you, Jody.
I really don't think if you look
I already know where this is going.
if you look
Berry
at John Lee
Kinda.
Hooker and what Elvis was singing, Elvis wasn't black music.
Oh,
He was a white guy doing...
No, he was
Not
doing a
black-
white version of black music.
He was a white guy.
well, it was his first hit was "That's All Right, Mama," which was a song by a black artist.
Almost
right.
all his 50s stuff is covers.
It's covers
almost all of
of
it.
black who couldn't get play on white stations.
Yeah.
Even though it's the radio, who knows what the fuck you're playing?
It's
But
a racist time. At
Yeah.
that time, so.
Yeah, it was completely different.
Oh, yeah. Times have changed.
it's not like you even have to see them on the screen,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like Elvis completely changed America, Great Britain, the world.
Okay. So, if you either of you two get this right, because I have one thing in my mind of, and Dave didn't say it, and he might say it later. And if you guys say
I'm gonna
it,
say it later.
the first one to come up.
Justin
with it-
Trudeau.
No, no.
Oh,
I asked
fuck.
Dave.
Pick Guns N'
I asked Dave the
Roses.
same question.
Pick Guns N' Roses.
What did Elvis influence the most today? What is Elvis? Like, and like right now,
To me, Elvis is like he's the first step in evolution to what we have now.
But what do we have now?
we have.
What is Elvis?
Number
one, like if you had to just bear him down, to
I
what,
feel-
what is he? Like your guy is a blues musician, right?
I know what it
He's a
is.
blues musician that influenced, I think, rap music and rock and roll. He has a lot of rock and roll.
Blues
people
rock, probably like Led Zeppelin,
cover
those type of
ZZ Top
Yeah.
and whatever. Like they covered a lot of his songs.
And I don't think Elvis really influenced those bands. Maybe a little bit, maybe Star.
I don't think that there's an artist, especially from like the 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s, who would say they weren't in some way influenced by Elvis.
To me, okay.
I don't know about that.
And this is what I want to ask Jody, and if you can kind of.
I haven't even given an answer yet.
Yeah, all right. Give me your answer first, then I'll.
All right, I picked Chuck Berry.
I was thinking about
Yeah,
it.
the reason why I picked Chuck Berry, because you were talking about influences with Lennon. It's actually on record that Chuck Berry is the biggest influence on him.
Wasn't Chuck Berry influenced by Marty McFly?
Technically.
Technically.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Fuck
Yeah,
off.
Marvin Berry called them up.
Marvin Berry called him
Marvin Berry!
I actually looked this up because I wanted to, after I did my pick, and I wanted to know who had influenced Elvis.
But technically,
Berry
Marty.
is on that list.
But,
I haven't even got to that yet.
but technically,
That's why
Marty
he made
McFly
his
was
smug,
influenced by
not
Chuck
even
Berry.
say
What? And he was last to pick.
Basically,
I was last to pick. Actually, I picked Elvis originally, and I'm glad that he actually told me somebody else picked it because I got to pick Chuck Berry. And then when I got into a little bit more research of Chuck Berry, I went, "Holy shit!"
I would pick Chuck Berry as well, but that doesn't mean you're gonna win.
No,
at all.
no, exactly. But Chuck Berry, number one, it's on record. Lennon has said it over and over again about how he's influenced pretty much the Beatles sound. The Beatles also did a lot of popular covers, Midnight being one of them. The rock and roll, I can't remember the name of the song, rock and roll something. They also did a lot of live versions of his songs and a lot of their live performances back then. But overall, he was one of the biggest influences. Getting to the question of how do they influence today, I think Chuck Berry influenced a lot of stuff today, R&B, even some reggae to some degree. Shaggy, for instance, being a very popular reggae artist, he actually says that Chuck Berry has influenced him as well, especially a lot of his backbeat stuff. And even if you listen to some of the, like, today's reggae, like, I don't know if much of you guys are really fans of reggae. I love reggae. But reggae, even if you look at the beats of reggae, it goes back to the 50s.
Would you say
the
Bob
genre
Marley
stuff.
was influenced by Chuck Berry?
I can't say for sure if that is, but
Yeah,
if you
I don't
listen
know
to a
either.
lot of the music, I would say that there's definitely some similarities. I don't know if
I don't know
that's
either.
true
That's
or
why
not.
I was asking.
So I won't say it for
I
sure.
gotta ask though, like outside of like I know Johnny B. Bad,
Johnny Be Good.
Johnny Be
If it's not sung by the band, Dave doesn't know.
or Marty McFly.
Marty McFly didn't sing it.
Johnny Be Bad was the wrestler. Sorry, Johnny Be Good.
was a wrestler.
He was a
Was
wrestler.
he really a wrestler?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Roll Over Beethoven. That's the song I was thinking.
Is that his other, I was like, what are his other songs? I can't think of any Chuck Berry songs.
Roll Over Beethoven.
Maybelline. Great song.
Yeah, great
Okay.
song. Actually, that was in the 60s.
This is why I don't want any. I just want your
Just
your
saying.
gut feeling. Your gut feeling. What do you think? I know stuff.
If he was smart, he knows who to pick.
Have you heard of these two guys before?
I've heard of him. I haven't heard of him.
I haven't heard of his guy either, but he made great.
I heard of it. I heard of John Lee Hooker, but
And
You know what? I think because rap is so big now, it is really big now.
Rap is big now. That's the
Very
problem. Okay, number one, I am a
I think
very
it's
big
obvious
rap
how big it
fan. Okay, and I'll tell you right now, rap is not that big anymore. Rap has been phased into hip hop. It's not even the same thing anymore.
Well, yeah.
rap isn't rap.
it is really
Rap is not
big
rap.
now.
Rap was rap in the '90s,
Hell yeah, it was.
and then it died when Eminem kind of.
It's really.
Not that Eminem's bad. I'm just saying.
I think Eminem actually is probably one of the last.
Became the top video in like 2000, 2001.
Yeah,
whenever it
that's
came
when
out.
you're-
That's when it went to.
That's when I went to hip hop.
Yeah, that's when I went to hip hop. Okay, I'm gonna give the point to Dave.
Ah, yes. Don't be cruel.
Dave.
It was.
I went through so many. I almost picked Michael Jackson until I realized he was just before or just after the 50s.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I tried to pick Michael Jackson too, and you were like, he's not from the 50s.
John Lee Hooker was perfect for me because I actually do like John Lee Hooker, and I've listened to a ton of
Charlie
his shit.
Hooker's pretty good, actually.
Oh, sports.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding. What is the best comeback in sports history? We are starting with Kevin Millard this time. It's gonna be short and sweet, and I like it.
Didn't you start with me last
No,
time?
it's Dave. Sorry. Dave,
What's up?
what's the best comeback in sports history?
Here, let me guess. Without even saying a word, it's about baseball. And it probably has something to do with the Yankees.
You are correct on both.
Am I correct? That's pretty good, actually.
You're correct. I picked the 2004 ALCS between the Red Sox and the Yankees.
I'd rather fart and sniff it than listen to this.
You're debating two guys who hate baseball, so I'm
It doesn't matter. Like it's what it is. It's a best of 7 series. The Yankees, who were
I
so
enjoy baseball history because I
so
don't need to
good.
watch the games.
so dominant at the time against the Red Sox, who at that point had not won a World Series since what, like
1918.
1918, right? They are down 3-0 against their arch nemesis, the New York Yankees, in the ALCS, and they come back and win 4 in a row. Not only that, but if you've ever seen the show Lost,
Fucking fuck.
in that in that show, the Jack character, right?
This is why you lose.
Did you reference Lost?
It's the sports category. He's talking about Lost. Is that what you mean?
Jack and his father, Daddy Jack. Daddy Jack. They were like their saying was that's why the Red Sox will never win the series. That was kind of like they're like that was like their saying to kind of preface the idea of like that's why things never really work out. That's why, you know, as hard as you try, things will never quite go the way you want them to. And in that year, when they started that phrase with those prolific characters on the TV show Lost, ABC.
I am going to fucking cut myself.
I normally enjoy doing this podcast. I kind of wish I wasn't here right now. What the fuck are you talking about?
Get to the fucking point!
The point is that Ben Linus sent this to Jack in season 3.
I'm going to fucking cut him. I'm telling you right
In
now.
season 3, Jody.
Host, get your shit together.
When Jack is captured by Ben Linus and he's being
We're
tortured.
talking about fucking sports, you cocksucker. Now fucking answer the question.
They're in the Dharma fucking building on a separate island. You know, they're on a separate island.
The Yankees?
They're on the Polar Bear Island. Don't you know, Jody?
The Polar Bear Island, Jody. It's real.
Also known as Hydra Island.
Hydra Island
It was stolen from Marvel for some reason.
Yeah, they're on the Hydra Island and fucking.
I feel like I might win this fucking category after that.
Shit, I don't know what Jody's got. But
Sawyer's getting the biscuit from the machine. It's a fucking polar bear.
What are you talking about?
If you see Lost, it makes sense. But the point of the matter is,
they were feeding Sawyer little biscuits.
yeah, he figured it out. He figured without getting electrocuted.
Can you hand me a pencil or something?
Sure.
Guys, it's how.
Guys.
Or Chris, like if you accept that Lost is one of the greatest TV shows in American
I do not.
Canadian history.
I do not, and you're not the
I
boss.
do.
Canadian, isn't it?
No, it's an American.
I mean, I know the polar bears will confuse you.
Just think about how prolific that character, Dr. Jack Shepherd, is.
Who?
Dr.
What
Jack Shepherd.
position did he play?
He was a doctor. He was the doctor. He was the leader.
We're answering a sports question.
He was fighting the others.
Did he play first base?
No. He was always like, that's why the Red Sox will never win the series. That was like they're saying.
This is why you're never going to win this question.
Time.
Thank you. I'm not going to quote any sort of pop culture TV show because I don't think it's needed.
No.
I don't even remember my answer now. What the fuck?
That's my strategy.
I picked the 2010 NHL Eastern Conference semifinal, which was with the Philadelphia Flyers against Pittsburgh. 2010 semifinal.
You spoke
They were down 3 games.
yourself.
No one ever gave them an opportunity to even attempt to win this. Everybody thought they were fucked.
The Flyers.
Even in the first, can I fucking talk?
Get back!
The Flyers.
I'm gonna fucking punch you in the tit.
You already did.
I'm gonna.
But
do it
did
again.
they talk about this on Lost?
No, they didn't. I'm
Well,
sorry.
it's not immortal.
Apparently, it's not. No. So anyway, going into they actually stretched out the series to Game 7, which was very hard for them. Number 1.
Boring.
All right, they get scored 3 times in the first
You're not the
fucking
judge.
period. They're down by 3. They end up scraping up 4. They get the win. All right, I just think it was a great series. It still reminds me of how hockey can be exciting.
This is the most boring answer ever. Like, it doesn't even
Yours is better?
a great TV show.
Yours is just hitting because it has
doesn't
Lost
tie
in
into the TV
it.
show. No, it ties into the fucking sports question, which is what it is.
Chris has possessed Dave.
Yes. Great
What
news.
are you talking about? The actual sport.
This
It's a
isn't
sports
about
category.
I'm surprised you didn't bring up Supernatural somehow.
Oh, we already
anyway.
did that this episode.
Overall, I just think it's a great comeback story, and when I think comeback stories, I think of kind of like completely against the odds. There's no way they're gonna win, and it was a series that was doomed to fail from the beginning. Everybody said they were fucked. Boston's gonna win it, and Boston clearly was the better team in this series, and they still managed to.
Is that the year the Flyers went against the Hawks in the final?
No,
No.
the Hawks actually won.
No, the Flyers played the Hawks in the Stanley Cup final.
Yes,
That's the same year.
yeah, same
Who'd they beat, though, in the series?
Boston.
Boston.
So
The Bruins?
Yeah, they were down 3-0, right?
the Boston Compadres.
They were down 3-0
Right.
as well, right? Philly? And
Yeah.
they came back on.
Yeah. So basically, that's what it was. I just think it's a great comeback story. It still reminds me of how hockey can be.
It
exciting.
sucks that they didn't win the cup.
They didn't win the cup, no. But you know what? They went way farther than they should have,
That's true.
and they managed to pull it off, which is incredible. And they did 4 goals in 2 periods and destroyed them.
Yeah.
It was great.
All right. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, good.
You had to look at it.
I'm surprised you could, because I barely could remember. I had to look mine up again.
All right, so you said my answer was pretty obscure, but upon further research, it wasn't actually that obscure. I picked the 1993 wild card game for the NFL. This is Buffalo Bills, Houston Oilers. The Buffalo Bills came back.
I remember something about it, but
They came back 30 some odd points. I don't remember the exact number, but from behind 30 some odd points to win that wild card game in overtime and went on to the Super Bowl. Of course, lost because they're the Bills.
They lost 3 times in a row in the
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
But it's still the reason it's the best comeback ever. It's still the biggest comeback ever in NFL history.
So biggest by points, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And time, bro.
Who cares?
What do you mean, who cares?
Who cares about Island?
Polar Bear Island's beside the point. The Red Sox
It
were
was
down
your whole
4
point!
games to none.
It was like 85%.
His team didn't win the Stanley Cup. His team didn't win the Super Bowl. Mine did win the World Series. I win.
After your comeback.
Yeah. Yeah, after the
But
huge
you have the
after what, like a fucking like almost 100 years of not winning the World Series, this isn't even a contest, Jeff. This is.
You know who hasn't won the?
If they come back and win, this will become the greatest comeback in sports history.
You can't win this on compassion because you fucked yourself so bad already.
For the record, compassion is different than passion.
Compassion.
Okay, fair enough. Passion.
And baseball is different from Lost.
But it ties in with the
little
American
bit.
psyche.
That's like saying
It's-
Kevin Costner
it's
built
still-
it in a fucking cornfield, and that's the reason why.
It's
Like,
still
come
the
on.
biggest comeback and you don't get
Points-wise, it's the biggest
You say
comeback.
3 games to none, but in fucking football, it's do or die. There's no fucking.
There's nothing.
There's no next.
Yeah, at
fucking
least you have
game.
a
Are
chance
you
to
kidding
come
me?
back within that hour.
And they're
if
the
you can be
wild
scored
card.
upon
And
in
they're
that
the-
hour,
and they're the-
you can come back and score the same points. There's
But
no reason
they're
why
in
not.
that- in that
There's
situation,
no
they're the-
defensive strategy in football that makes that more compelling.
Hey,
but in
just because they didn't
baseball-
mention it on Lost doesn't mean it's
Okay.
not true.
I think I win just on the fact that I'm not arguing like this.
His is the most boring. His is
What are you
maybe.
talking about?
His is somewhat like interesting.
Mine was against the odds, not once,
Biggest comeback
not
ever
twice,
in
but
NFL
4
history.
times. Mine was a 4-time
You guys
thing.
all pick different sports.
And if you're the fucking wild card, you're not expected to go to the fucking to even go to the.
You're right. You're not expected to go to the whole World Series and win it, but the Red Sox did.
Great.
Yeah,
You didn't
but
say
everything
that
happens
until
after
now.
the lost. So, like,
What?
nothing happens after lost. It happens in the semifinals, and when he's showing that they won, it was probably the finals.
Yeah, that's true. In Lost, they show them winning the World Series, not them coming back against the Yankees.
No, but that was the whole thing, is that no one could believe it because.
It doesn't matter. This is the semifinals you're arguing about.
It is right, 100%. You are talking about the World Series.
That's what you get for fucking threatening to kick him every
Now he's turned on you, bitch. Mine was for a semifinal game, and not only that, but they had to do it.
I may
4
not
times.
kick him out of the street, but he's not going to be eating good for a month.
This is an easy,
Hey, my
easy decision. Kevin wins.
Thank you.
It's not even close.
What?
A fucking another sports win for
These are close.
I don't even know how he does it. Every time I've judged, he always makes the best sports argument. I know he knows fuck all about it.
I literally read 4 sentences about this fucking game.
It's all I needed Dave talking about a
Sure.
TV show.
I didn't even talk about the Red Sox.
Cody was close, but lots of teams have come back, and his team didn't win eventually.
Mine did!
Neither your team, but he didn't convince me with like one game they were down 4-0, and they came back in that game. The semifinals was the more exciting than the World Series by
Yeah,
far.
by far.
Yeah, it was great. Okay, moving on to history. What ancient culture was the most impressive, and why?
Oh, I picked Egypt.
Yes, you did.
Egyptians, yeah. I just think they're impressive people. They had a fantastic language, which still to this day is baffling scientists on how they managed to get that far. Mm-hmm. On top of that, they also erected massive monuments, which to this day we still haven't totally figured out how they done it, but they did a great job on it. They
I know
also-
exactly how they did it.
Aliens?
No, not aliens. Do you know me? Aliens.
I'm just kidding.
They don't.
That's
You know
a
how
Chris
they did
answer.
it? They didn't have anything else to do.
Yeah.
Well,
No
that's true.
fucking internet.
They had time.
The
Lots of
biggest
it.
issue they're trying to figure out is how they managed to do like some of the higher stones and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Some of them are.
Well, the thing, especially within the pyramids, I didn't know this.
They'll
but
never
some
know
of-
for sure.
But like within the Great Halls, where the pharaoh was buried or whatever, those blocks came from 700 miles away.
Yeah, which
Well,
is
it's like
also
the Easter Island
fucking
and shit too,
incredible.
are
They
crazy.
had some
Also, the
kind
fact
of,
that they used simple mechanics, which was pretty cool. Like they used a lot of pulley systems, stuff like that, which I think is also very impressive for an ancient culture. They also, had very strict law, which is also kind of neat too, especially for backdating that far in. They had a lot of very modern approaches to things, which we take for granted now, but realistically back then was unheard of. Right. And even for other cultures around the same time period, they had nothing close to that. Right. I just think they were people that were advanced, and they were advanced to the point that they really probably ended up killing themselves in time. But the the thing that's most impressive with them is the fact that they used a lot of scientific stuff, which I think was, obviously they didn't use it, they didn't know what it was back then, but, they used a lot of pulleys, a lot of levers, stuff like that. All that shit equates to a modern technology. And I just think overall it's just incredible what they've managed to accomplish with what little they had. Because realistically, when you think about it, they had fucking sand, they had fucking rocks, and they had a lot of slave labor. Like, that's really all they had.
They had people and ropes.
Yeah, they had people and ropes, right? And with that, it's amazing what they've erected. Like, they've erected some of the monuments that still to this day, you can't go anywhere in the world and people don't know what a fucking pyramid is.
Or
they see
or
that
those,
picture and they're like, that's fucking Egypt.
The Sphinx.
Right? Yeah, the Sphinx. Sphinx.
Yeah.
And I
some
just think
people are say is older than the pyramids. I didn't.
Yeah,
know
I don't
this,
know for
yeah.
sure if they've proven that yet, but I know that they've carbon dated some of it.
A lot of the guys, like I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yeah, that's a good podcast.
And his podcast, he's really into Egypt.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I've heard a couple of things he's talked about. But.
Yeah, he's like, he watches it all the time. He's really into it. And he was saying that with Egypt, that culture was so advanced that, like, he was just from like what you said with pictures, with language, like, people still can't quite figure out, like,
yeah, they still haven't deciphered all of it.
No,
they still haven't figured it all out.
They don't really know how they did it.
They know a lot of the basic stuff, but
it's a very different culture. That's
but you're also finding pictures of, like, shit that doesn't make sense for their time period. Like, you also have pictures of, like, what appears to be, like, flying vehicles and stuff like that.
Like bombs, the bombed Baghdad battery. They had electricity.
Yeah, like, it's incredible what they managed to accomplish, especially when...
Any polar bear cakes or anything like
no
that?
polar bear cakes.
Listen,
no episode
Ben Linus goes to Tunisia. It lost. Tunisia is near Egypt. It is, actually.
Anyway, you've talked way too much. But anyway,
I already talked to you.
Exactly. But I just think it's an advanced people. It's very intriguing, and every time I look into more information on stuff like that, or whenever there's you just end up scaling out to other things. Yeah. It's incredible what they've managed to accomplish, and I just think it's great.
But all Asian cultures are amazing, and that's why I picked this question. Kevin, what do you pick?
They're all amazing for different reasons.
You know what? If I was thinking science and math, I probably would have picked the Egyptians, but I picked the Greeks.
Which still not
not schlubs at science and math. But,
exactly.
Pretty much invented the alphabet. Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Right. I picked the Greeks mostly though because they really all kind of democratic ideas can stem back to the Greeks. The Americans like to think that it's the Declaration of Independence is the genesis of rights and fucking democracy. Right. The British like to think it's the Magna Carta, but all those fucking ideas.
Well, you also have to remember the Americans. A good population of the Americans also think that the world's only 4,000 years old.
Yeah, true. They think the world isn't as old as the Greeks.
They're not too bright.
And a lot of those democratic ideas go back to the Greeks. And, I mean, Greek culture was so good that when they were taken over by the Romans just kind of adopted everything the fucking Greeks were doing. Because they were like, yeah, you're on the right fucking track, dudes. That's good, right? Mm-hmm. And one thing I like about the Greeks is they were polytheistic, which might shock everybody since I am atheistic. But I think when you're polytheistic, at least your mind is open to thinking about things. When there's not one God that makes all the decisions, then you got to make some of the decisions for yourself. And that was very forward thinking at the time. I know that the Egyptians had more than one God, but they were Ra. It was the sun god.
Well, the sun god was the overseer, essentially.
Right.
There's Horus as well.
Yeah, Horus as well, yeah.
But that's really what I liked about the Greeks. I also like with the Greeks is they were all different states and they fought, but whenever there was an existential threat to Greece, they could all pull together and fucking
take it out.
I win this one.
So close.
No, it's not you.
What did you think, Gaiman?
For you in the past trying to swing
because of the language.
I was leaning toward Egypt as well, so I'll give that one.
Are you fucking for real? It should be it's the Greeks over the Romans, not the Egyptians.
Of course, it's the Greeks over the Romans. That just means you're third.
All right, Jeff.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Wild card.
What question are we on now?
Ding, ding, ding.
In your opinion, what is the best podcast currently being produced?
Well, I picked Weird Medicine.
And I never listened to the podcast you picked, so.
Weird Medicine.
Weird Medicine.
I am a
Love
podcast aficionado.
I love this podcast, and before you get on me, it started as an XM show. It still is an XM show, but they do a separate podcast.
That's fine.
It's not. It's an XM show, but it's the XM show is not the same as
They
the
do a
podcast.
long format version.
I think they're about the same, but they're completely different shows. I never hear what the XM show does because they do a separate.
They do a
podcast
separate
show.
podcast show.
Yes.
Oh, that's totally fine too.
Completely
Like, you could have picked
separate.
an XM show.
They
That
don't-
is a podcast like on iTunes. You know, like you could have picked that.
Really? Because I felt like that would be cheating.
It's not like I only thing I would not have allowed was Howard Stern because Howard Stern was a
Because
radio show
I would have
first.
also maybe picked because I listened to Bill Maher as a podcast.
But that's his show.
But I still feel like that's cheating. That's not a strict podcast.
And I wouldn't think it's the best podcast currently being produced either.
Right now, being produced, this show isn't the best produced, but it's pretty good. The dude's good because he's on XM and he does whatever. What I like about this show is it's medical questions. It's not just medical questions. It's a bunch of dudes. They got a really good sense of humor.
Oh, we have a fantasy trade
hockey.
here. We have.
Should I wait until you guys are done masturbating over your fantasy hockey
That's what
thing?
Tim offered.
I just thought it was hilarious. Anyway, let's go.
Yeah. Accept that right away. Accept it right away.
He canceled it.
Anyway,
Oh.
so the thing I like about this show is I want to listen to every fucking episode. It's got some medical questions in it, but it's funny as shit. I mean, they're
So is it like a call-in kind of show?
Yes, they have call-in, but it's not just call-in.
Oh, okay.
It's a bunch of friends sitting around bullshitting. He's got him. He's a doctor.
So are these people qualified?
Yes, he's
Oh,
been
okay.
a doctor. He's in his 60s.
I'm not familiar with it.
And he's a doctor, and then his other partner is it rotates out people, like kind of like this show does. One of them is a Chinese medicine guy, and he's always ripping on him and being like, your shit is bullshit. And
So like there's like a naturopath kind of guy.
yeah, a naturopath kind of guy. And a physician's assistant, and then a fucking guy that sells used cars and shit. That's kind of the dupe of the group, and he's the one to ask
Supposed to be
the
the voice of
questions
reason?
about, right? No, but he's the one that asks the questions about the medical questions that the normal person would ask. But that's not all it's about. Fucking 2 episodes ago, they did what's called the Big Joe Roundup. Big Joe is his mother-in-law, and she is super southern. He actually describes her to her face as a basketball sitting on top of a larger basketball.
So she's like 2 big round balls.
But she is so southern. He does this thing where he says, I once asked her, hey, you were watching the kids. Did they eat balanced meals? She goes, well, they had 5 pieces of fried bologna. Is that balanced? Like, she's that southern. And it's fucking awesome. But what I like about it is they answer some serious shit. They talk to porn stars and answer a lot of questions about dicks. Because it's supposed to be about stuff you won't ask your doctor. Right. But it's a lot of just friends bullshitting with each other too. Like it's got both those things. He actually takes it very seriously and fucking produces a good show. Tries to produce a good show. I just listen to it. I don't care if I win the episode. Everybody should listen to it. You will fall in love with it. You will want to listen.
What's it called?
Weird Medicine.
Weird Medicine.
With Dr. Steve.
I'm gonna check it out.
And you will want to listen to every fucking episode. Everybody on that show is totally fucking likable. And and you learn something. You do learn something. And you learn shit that you won't learn on the fucking Doctors or Dr. Oz. Like they've been doing an ongoing investigation into why porn stars are able to come so much.
This is an investigation.
Yes, like a serious medical investigation. Like he's trying to find a medical reason. and interviewing porn stars and whatever. And that kind of goes through the whole show. It's awesome. I want to listen to every episode all the time. Even I stopped listening to podcasts for a while. This show I still listen to all the time because they're awesome.
Okay. Dave?
Tonight I'm championing a little show called Rob Has a Podcast, which is done by Rob's sister Nino, who is a former Survivor contestant from Survivor Amazon, I believe.
And All-Stars.
And All-Stars, where he didn't do as well.
No.
Mostly due to the effects of Boston Rob.
Yeah, and Amber and Alicia.
Yeah, Alicia, who marginalized him.
And so,
What does this podcast offer somebody who doesn't give a fuck about that show?
Well,
I thought the question.
That's not really the
No,
question.
I'm just asking.
The question is, what's the best produced? And I think that his show is the best produced. He has a degree in television and radio production, which I think is what gives his show a special class among others. I think he has a better understanding of what his audience wants. And what his audience wants is, after you watch an episode of Survivor or Big Brother, he also does this other show called post-show recaps, which is all about, like, if you watch an episode of The Walking Dead or you watch an episode of
Anything.
any of the big shows, he basically says, okay, or Sons of Anarchy, like, you know.
Does he do Game of Thrones?
Yep.
Yeah, he does Game of Thrones. He's like, tonight on Game of Thrones, or this night on Sons of Anarchy, or this night on Walking Dead.
I'm asking.
These are big television shows, okay?
He does
Whether
them
you
all.
like them or not, it doesn't really matter. What really comes down to is that he says, tonight this happened in the plot, and I'm going to really, like, talk through what happened, how it really affects what happened so far, and where it's possibly leading in the story. Because we don't know what the writers are up to, but if I, as a viewer, as a fan, I want to see it maybe go this way or this way or this way, and they're going to talk about all that, and I find it an invaluable resource as a fan. He knows how to talk to his audience. He starts every show off with, "Coming to you live from my apartment. It is Rob Has a Podcast." And then he goes into it. He goes, this episode on Big Brother, so-and-so won the veto. So-and-so got voted off. And he talks about how it's affecting it. I think it's most interesting in the Big Brother world, because that show is done in real time. Versus a show like Survivor.
6 months after it's happened.
More of a recap.
How is this playing in? He brings in special guests. He is extremely excellent in queuing up his guests, whoever that may be. In the case of like Big Brother, he's talking to former Big Brother contestants.
Yep. The one I listened to today, he spoke with Ken Wong from Survivor Gabon. So.
Yeah, his show is excellent. He has a full studio. Even though it's coming to you live from his apartment, he has a full studio with full soundproofing built around it. Mm-hmm. He has a special interest in whoever he's talking to. Those characters are meaningful to him. He was a Survivor contestant, and I think he really understands reality TV better than anybody. But it's not just that. It's like it's also the fictional universe. It's like when he talks about Sons of Anarchy, when he's talking about Abel. Mm-hmm. Hey, do you know what an accident is? Do you?
I'm crazy, Abel. I'm gonna stab you in your sleep.
That's Abel.
Are you bored? Okay.
Rob's sister Nino puts on an excellent show week after week.
Remember how we were talking about how you talk too much about your point?
Yes, Jody. What I will say about this is that I really look forward
It's
to
working in this one, though, because you know what he's talking about.
I listen to it every day.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Every day I tune into Rob Has a Podcast, and particularly when something amazing happens on a
I like the name of it.
Yeah. A good name.
I think the name is really inventive. What you're explaining
know
to
who
me
the
is
host
not
is.
good.
He also hasn't mentioned that Rob has won 2 consecutive Best Podcast Awards.
All right.
And deservedly so. Like I think what he
Weird
does.
Medicine has won a bunch, I think, but I couldn't tell you
Yeah, but
exactly
not
which ones.
probably not for what he won. He won best overall entertainment podcast, like best podcast.
No, it wouldn't be
No.
for entertainment.
Right.
I think
Although
what
it's
Might be
really
informative.
entertaining.
It might have won informative. or like
Maybe I know it's won
medical
awards,
or
but
whatever.
it wouldn't be for entertainment.
what sucks me in about this show is the fact that if I watch an episode of a TV show or a reality TV show, the first thought that pops into my head is like I have to know what Rob.
If I'm
and
gonna
his
watch,
fans know about it.
if I'm gonna listen to this podcast, do I have to be into reality TV?
You have to watch the show.
Not just reality TV.
But you could watch like Walking Dead. and
It's
go to
whatever your
post-show
show.
recaps.
It's whatever your show is.
He's arguing though. I gotta say, he's arguing for Rob as a podcast. He's not arguing for post-show recaps.
You know.
Okay, but what is Rob? What is he's?
to me,
I
one
feel
of
like he hasn't explained exactly what
Rob
this
as a
podcast
podcast is a recap of Survivor, Big Brother, Amazing Race, anything reality based, basically. And he has another website and another podcast that's called Post Show Recaps that does scripted TV. So he has a reality TV division and a scripted TV division.
Okay.
Right? Dave's arguing for Rob as a podcast, which
is the reality
version, which he spends way more
Okay,
time.
this
and
is
production
why I
value
have
into.
no idea what it is because I don't watch any
You don't watch any reality TV?
When I watch an episode of Big Brother,
I have in the past, but I don't anymore.
You're not like into it.
Well, I don't have cable, so I can't watch
Yeah.
week to week anyway.
Oh, exactly.
So.
Yeah.
the bigger deal for me when I watch an episode of like a reality show like Big Brother is what is Rob and his guests going to say about it? They're going to talk about. They do the first half. They talk about what the episode is. The second half is spoilers. In the case of Big Brother, we have live feeds.
Right.
So we're
They
in.
don't really do that for Survivor. I don't think these spoilers.
Well, Survivor is not the same,
yeah.
right? But for Big Brother, it is.
Yeah, they do spoilers for Big
Yeah, because of the way Survivor is produced, it's all done up front.
Yeah.
It's a sprint, not a marathon.
Right.
Whereas Big Brother is a marathon, not a sprint.
Right.
And you get all that information. You say, this is what they're not showing you in the edits. This is what they're not showing you in the commercial TV version. Mm-hmm. And that's why Big Brother is probably the best pairing of it. Even though Rob comes from a Survivor background, I think his Survivor coverage is infinitely better than his
Big Brother?
Survivor coverage.
You said his Survivor coverage.
Yeah, which
is
one's better,
infinitely
Big
better
Brother?
than
Oh.
Survivor coverage.
I'm sorry. His Big Brother coverage is better than his Survivor
I
coverage.
am so bored out of my mind right now.
It doesn't really matter. All it really matters is what Jeff decides.
That's true.
But I don't feel like... I mean, when I argued my podcast, you were said, I might check that out. I'm not going to check out your podcast.
I've already subscribed to the one he's talked about.
Is that what you were doing on your phone?
Yeah, I just subscribed to it. All right, is it my turn now?
Alright.
All right, so I picked the Nerdist podcast.
Oh, another good one.
Yeah,
See,
it's-
Jody and I are kind of simpatico with that.
yeah.
Okay, for the record,
You've had enough fucking talking.
Okay.
Shut up.
let me have this moment.
Oh, goody.
You and Kevin think very much alike.
That's true.
Yeah, I would say for the most part.
You
Yeah,
two-
the right way.
Okay, whatever. you two,
I won't label it, but I won't disagree either.
You two are often in sync with
You
each
gotta
other.
really watch those hands, man. I don't know how many times you come close to hit.
hands.
Yeah.
You two
Like,
are
tighten
often
up your wrists.
You two are often in sync with each other, which is fine. You're entitled to.
I find it hard to argue against Jody a lot of the
And
time.
he finds it hard to argue against.
No, I
you.
can argue against anybody.
Because I'm right most of the time.
No,
I have a hard time because he usually picks things that make sense.
Yeah, you guys match.
You see where I'm going here?
First of all, I'm
You
shocked
shouldn't.
that nobody here picked a Smodcast.
The reason why I didn't pick is because honestly, I don't think they're the
I don't
best.
listen to them.
I don't think they're the best produced podcast.
They're not the best.
No, I don't think that's not.
They-
the
I'm not
question.
saying they
That's
aren't
not the
entertaining.
question.
Surprise.
The question isn't production, is it?
Yeah,
It
it
is.
is. What is
It
the
really
best podcast currently being produced?
Currently being produced
Right now. Like
The
it's-
real
Produce
question.
doesn't necessarily mean production, though.
it doesn't mean
It
the
just means
production
being
value.
made.
It doesn't mean what is the best produced podcast. It means what is the best podcast being produced today. It's not the same. It's actually different.
It really depends on what
It is different,
emphasis
but
you wanna
it's
put
still
on that-
qualified.
What word?
Well, if I'm using English like everyone else,
What?
it means what is the best
Despite the fact
podcast
that you're
being
using
produced
English
today.
You're trying.
Alright.
You're choosing to put
Any chance I can
emphasis on a
just
certain word
continue
in
my
a sentence.
answer here?
I'm choosing to put emphasis
Hey,
where it belongs.
Can I finish?
That's up to you, though.
It's not up to me. It's up to fucking reality.
Okay, first of all, just the best podcast is something that is the best production value. Is something that is the
It
most
may
entertaining.
not be. It may not be. Something you find completely fucking entertaining that is not produced very well still might be the best
That's
podcast
true.
being
Like this show.
produced today.
That's true. That's
Our show is going to increase in production value.
It will eventually.
For the record,
Especially if we can tone you down.
me.
Anyway,
Anyway,
let's
can I
let's
answer?
let Jody go.
How about I answer? Okay. So anyway, the Nerdist, the reason why I like the show, number one, I do like Chris Hardwick, but I don't think he's the reason why I like the show that much. I actually like the show for the fact that it...
Yeah, he annoys
Every
me a
epi-
little bit.
I don't like him.
He can be
I
annoying,
like
but
him.
he can also be pretty entertaining too.
He gets good guests though.
That's where I'm going here. The guests themselves, he gets some fantastic guests. Like he'll have like a wide variety of people. He gets like scientists. He gets fucking like just geeky guys in culture. He also gets like people from TV. He gets people from movies. He gets all that. But he doesn't necessarily talk to them about shit that has anything to do with what their profession is. Like sometimes it's like, well, for instance, he had what's Tom Hanks' kid's name? Colin Hanks, right?
Colin Hanks or the other one that
No,
fucking
Colin Hanks, the more
is a rapper.
Yeah, not the rapper. But he had him on, and they had like a whole blurb on different things, and he just started talking about random shit with them. It was entertaining to. I like seeing the other side of these people that we see in big production environments and stuff like that, and they also just geek it out. Sometimes they don't even have a fucking host, and they just sit there and talk amongst themselves, and they'll spend 20 minutes talking about like the fucking Star Wars trailer, or something like that. It's just entertaining and. To me, when I heard the question, my instant reaction was that podcast because I always enjoy listening to that podcast. There's always a new episode, which is nice too for me.
Yep.
Like he produces a lot of episodes. Like I think they're on like episode like 700 and something now. Like
Wow.
it's been a
That's
long.
way more than
It's a-
Babylon.
Or anything, really.
Yeah, Nerdist is one of the longest
Rob
podcasts.
has more than
running.
that. Rob's over that.
I actually almost picked it. It was one of the first things that came to mind.
Yep.
But the reason I didn't pick it is because I listened to every episode of Weird Medicine. I listened to about 10% of the episodes of
See, I'm
Nerdist.
on reverse.
I have to really
I'll
like
listen
the
to stuff.
guest because I don't really like. The
I don't know
guest.
your show, but I am going to start listening to it.
I'm not big on like Chris Hardwick's fine. He's not like I'm not saying.
But
I hate the
Hardwick
fucking
isn't
guy.
really the focus
But
of the show. Which
no,
is
he's
what
not.
I like about
and
it.
he's a good interviewer
Yeah.
when he's got good guests. So
Yeah.
I listen 10, maybe 15% of the shows
Mm-hmm.
because I feel he's got good guests. Those shows are superiorly entertaining. They're
kind of what they're going to talk about. stuff
Dave's
like that.
pick might be entertaining. I can't even argue
I don't
against
even
it
know.
because
Incredible.
I can't even argue against it because I
I've
don't
been
want.
listening
I
to
don't
it
even
for like
watch.
a year straight.
It actually
I don't
almost
even-
pretty entertaining.
it sounds almost like the Nerdist podcast to a degree, but it's more centric to
I'm in about
entertainment,
5 years
right?
on
Yeah,
Weird
you-
Medicine.
Whereas the Nerdist podcast it's not just centric to entertainment, it's centric to pretty much anything. Like anything goes. They'll talk about shit that makes no sense half the time, and sometimes they'll talk about science, like something new. Like
I think from a production standpoint, I think Rob Cisternino kills it. Like, honestly.
What other podcasts can you go like? Okay, you watch a show, any show, and after like Dave's kind of right in the sense that like I'll watch a show like Walking Dead. And then I kind of think, like, I don't want to just have to think about it to myself. I want to, like, have my
You want to
idea.
talk about it with your friends.
Well, I don't want
almost.
to talk about it. I want to listen to some other
You
people
see,
talk about it so
I
I
don't-
can kind of think about
I
like,
don't use
you know,
podcasts that way, and I can understand why
I don't
some people
either.
would want that, but I don't use podcasts that way.
I work
That's what I use Reddit
outside
for.
doing
Like
landscaping
Reddit
all
for
day.
me is and I understand why.
And
I
so-
tend to think for
I have to go to
myself,
Canada.
so I don't use anything for that.
Hopefully I win, but I have to go to Canada.
I'm giving it to Dave.
Yeah, all right. I didn't think I was gonna win
Everybody
that, but
is.
seriously, everybody, you need to fucking listen to Weird Medicine.
I will.
Just give it,
I
give
never
it,
listened
give
to
it,
Nerdist either.
give it a fucking few shots.
I didn't pick it because I knew Dave's better. I just know how good Rob's.
Yeah, everybody has two.
You know, he's done done a great job.
Like, you can't argue with it. It's like,
That guy's awesome.
like, he does such an exceptional job.
It's his job. How many other of your guys can you say that's their job? Is just to make a podcast?
No.
Nobody.
My guy is on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
He's
a doctor.
Yeah.
And he does an XM show and does a podcast.
Fair enough. Rob Cesternino pays his bills by doing podcasts about reality TV, which you say is stupid.
My guy.
And,
No, I don't say it's stupid. I mean, okay, no.
It is stupid.
That's
But
true.
it's-
No, you're right. I do say it's stupid, but fucking people like it. And
Yeah,
like I said,
that's right.
I have a hard time
Just like
arguing.
football.
I have a hard time arguing against his pick because I know nothing about it.
Right. Yeah. Sure. No, that's totally fair. You guys have to if you want.
Was this a tiebreaker?
I'm honestly at the point where I don't even want to be in the speed round. I just want to drink. I've made it farther than I thought I would on the answers I gave.
Jeff, you have a three-way tie.
show.
No,
it's a
I'm
great
talking
show.
about-
It's a
You have
three-way.
a three-way tiebreaker question.
Yeah, the three-way tiebreak
Basically, he's
is
going to take the shittiest answer, and that's
whoever
one that's going to
has
lose.
the shittiest answer is out of the speed round.
So, it was nice seeing you.
Why is it me?
Because you always have the shittiest answer.
No, sometimes he has the best answer. He argues it the shittiest.
Oh, there you go. Build
Hey,
that.
you still have a chance. You just have to not argue as shitty as one of these two.
You don't have a chance.
It's hard, but is there
All right, you ready? Ready for
Yeah,
this?
let's go. I'm.
What is the best movie set around Halloween?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's a good one.
You will argue first.
It'll be quick
Okay.
because it's a fucking good movie.
But it's
Still trying to...
it's like a Halloween Christmas movie.
It's quirky and it is a kind of Halloween Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Pick a Halloween
I'm
movie.
really thinking.
I'm just trying to think of one that would...
State the question again.
What movie is the best movie set around Halloween?
Halloween.
The first one or the remake?
Which one?
First one. Yeah.
This should be such an easy question, but I'm like...
It's really
I'm
hard.
drawing a blank on what would be actually useful for this.
It's really hard. So we got Halloween and The Nightmare Before Christmas.
I'm going to sit it out. I'm going to concede it.
Well, then we don't need to argue.
There you go. I'm going to let Dave try to win.
Dave versus Kevin.
Dave versus Kevin.
Everybody picked yet?
Jody.
I'm going to concede it.
You versus me, eh?
I gotta
You know what
destroy
you know what I gotta put on the record just in case Ashley listens to
You know what's
this and
crazy?
wants to fucking kill me? Is that my movie is totally invalid. My movie is not based around Halloween.
It's based
It is
on
based around Christmas.
Yeah, oh yeah. You know what's funny though? I typed in best Halloween movies on Google. First one's Halloween. Second one is Hocus Pocus. Third one, The Nightmare Before Christmas. Isn't that interesting? Like, if you
And
picked Hocus Pocus,
And it's
which I don't think
totally
you ever
not
would've.
it's totally not a fucking Halloween movie.
It's more of a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas
movie.
It's called The Nightmare Before Christmas.
All right. Here it's with Jeff.
Okay.
Speed round.
We just got to open.
Are we tied for the record?
Well, yeah, because no one got a point there. Or you both got a point, whatever you want. Speed round.
Movies?
Movies, round one. If you could watch one of these movies 5 times in a row, you have to watch it 5 times in a row. What movie would it be? Casino or Goodfellas?
Goodfellas.
I can go Casino.
Okay. Go ahead, Dave.
Goodfellas
both so
is
great.
I know. That's
Goodfellas-
why you gotta watch it 5 times in a row. And you gotta remember, Casino's a little longer.
Goodfellas is an insatiably watchable movie. It can be watched
So is Casino.
so many
Like,
times.
They're very similar movies.
So can Casino, but Casino doesn't live up to the Goodfellas hype. In
What are
quite
you
the same
fucking
way.
talking about? Casino is on par. It is just as good a movie.
It's just one level down.
No.
It is just
No.
one level down, and I'll explain why. When you talk about Goodfellas has every beat right down. It has every gangster kind of put into a box, and those moments are without compromise. They are the ultimate moments in any given movie ever.
They're almost the same movie.
They're
They're very
Almost.
similar movies.
They're very similar movies.
I mean, they have the same story
I find
of being on top of the world and then fucking it all up. It's the same
I
story
think
arc.
what separates them is that the Casino, there's more mortality associated with them. That the characters in those movies are infinitely more vulnerable to outside threats than they are in Goodfellas. And the reason that makes Goodfellas better is because Goodfellas is...
What outside threats? What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, in Casino's case, is the fact of the matter is that you have the Kansas City mob, you have the greater FBI, and you have
That makes the movie more
the New
interesting.
Jersey mob and the Las Vegas mob.
It makes the movie more interesting about Nicky taking over and being the boss of Las Vegas.
But he's
Take
not.
it
He's
and
not
going
really,
after
he's not
everything.
really-
Like the muscle.
He's not.
But how he's going after everything. He doesn't succeed.
Yeah, I get.
Because he gets beaten to shit with
I
baseball bats.
love watching Casino,
But it makes it more interesting that he's going after all of that.
I think
Whereas,
I think it is more interesting, but I don't think that's more fictional. I think the
They're
more
both true stories.
I think that the
well, they're both based on true
Well,
stories.
the more-
I think Goodfellas is a little more true than Casino.
I think you're right.
and I would agree with you on
A
that.
little more autobiography.
I feel like Goodfellas is the more real world version of it. I think that Casino, while real world, is not as rooted in fact. I think there's a lot of sensationalism in it.
Okay.
And-
This is
Well,
what
sensationalism is fun to watch. So
It
if
is.
you're going to watch it 5 times,
Yeah.
well, then you're going to want to watch Casino.
If I had to be like deserted on a desert island for the rest of my life with a
God,
movie,
that's Sophie's choice for me. Which one on a desert island?
which
yeah.
one do you watch?
if
They're both so great.
if it's Casino or Goodfellas, as hard as it is, as much as I want to watch both movies for the rest of my life, it's Goodfellas. Because I think Goodfellas has more depth to it and it's more humanity to it.
You know what? I think I go Casino because I feel like it's got the same depth and humanity to it, but it's also got a little touch of fucking comedy to it.
Both do. Jody, what do you?
Definitely so.
If you had to
What
watch
was the
one,
actual question?
the actual question is, if you had to watch one of these movies, Casino and Goodfellas, 5 times in a row, you have to no breaks. You got to watch it 10 hours of
Power
Goodfellas,
watch it 5
or
times.
13 hours of Casino, because that
Yeah,
movie's
Casino's
longer.
2.5 hours through.
Yeah. So which would be which would you choose and why is it better?
Which would be more entertaining.
Yeah, which would you by the 5th watch? You're like, I don't hate this.
That's alright.
I
Both great
think
movies. I think realistically between the two of them though, I think more variety of entertainment, I'd probably go Casino.
I like De Niro's character in Casino a lot better. I even like fucking
Goodfellas.
not Pacino, Pesci's character in Casino a lot better. I think he's almost the same character. He's almost that fly off the handle fucking guy that's gonna stab a guy with a pen or shoot the fucking bartender in the other movie.
Yeah.
But fuck, it's goddamn, it's
They're
a
so
tough
similar.
choice. It is because they're almost the exact same fucking story. Both movies.
Yeah.
I think
One is set.
Casino-
One is
They're
set
very
in New
similar.
York, and one is set in Vegas. That is pretty much the difference. And
I think the Casino is partially set
As
in
far
Chicago.
as entertaining, I think
Yeah.
and Jersey.
for me, I think
But
5
that's where
times
they're
in-
from, right? Ace and
They're Chicago.
I think
They're Chicago guys. I thought they're
To me-
Jersey guys.
No, it's Chicago. Is.
The biggest
Chicago.
Yeah,
problem
they're
with
Chicago guys.
guys.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Okay, all right. Kevin gets a point on this one.
But between if you're arguing which is the better movie, that's
Goodfellas probably the better movie, but if I don't,
if you're going more dramatic,
if I had to watch by
Goodfellas.
the
Is he one up on me?
Yeah, he's one of them.
I-
By the 4th or 5th watch, I think Goodfellas would be one of those things.
How
where I'd be
drunk are
like,
you,
I don't
Dave?
wanna watch this again. Whereas Casino,
I can watch that movie.
what just happened?
TV, what's
Dave's
your
pretty
question?
loaded at this point.
All right,
They're both pretty loaded at this point.
Yeah.
a kind of similar question.
Oh, fuck.
What TV show would be the best weekend binge? Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones.
I guess you have to go Breaking Bad. So, Game of Thrones. Go ahead.
Game of Thrones is a cinematic masterpiece. I don't care if it's on TV. film. I don't care if it's on Netflix. It doesn't matter. This show is amazing. This show takes you within the world of the medieval culture. It sucks you right in.
You're so loaded.
You are in that
He
world.
is Chris tonight. That's why I want him to argue. But I want him to argue.
You are in that world of death and life. I'm either going to grow this crop
like
or I'm not going to grow this crop.
Right.
You're going with crops?
Crops is the most important thing in the show.
And it's the most important thing. Life is the most
Here,
most
I'll
important
sum this
thing.
up really easy for you. He's not going to argue you, right?
No, I'm not. I don't like Breaking Bad. I think it's shit. I watched 2 episodes, and I was like, I'm bored out of my fucking
There.
mind.
I got your point.
So we're tied.
I just wanted to hear him argue.
I didn't. I didn't.
Okay.
We're
Music.
not-
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's go.
What artist that died from the 1950s had the best chance to become a giant star? Buddy Holly or Eddie Cochran?
Buddy Holly.
You have to argue Eddie Cochran.
I don't even know who that fucking is. Can I look up who that is?
You ever heard the
first?
song "Ain't That Time the Summertime Blues"? You know?
Sure.
You know that song, "Summertime Blues"?
Who was the other guy?
Buddy Holly.
Okay, go ahead. Dude.
Buddy Holly is an American treasure. He is one of the
Well, he
greatest-
fucking rambles on. I'm gonna look this guy up and see if I
Go
can
ahead.
find it.
You
Alright.
might
He is
actually
one of
be
the
able to
greatest
get him on
men
this
who
show.
ever lived in our time. He is a guy who
Eddie Cochran.
defined, like, if you look at that Weezer
This show
video-
is turning into drunk history. Have you noticed that? Have you ever seen that show? Drunk
It is.
history?
It's drunk history.
It's basically drunk history.
Wait till we get to the history fucking question.
The
Motherfucker.
Romans are better. That's why I do the question.
I love Buddy Holly. He is like,
I bet you.
if you think of like,
He's like my sun and my stars.
Yeah, he's-
Oh wait, no, that's fucking
Game of
that
Thrones.
other one,
That's-
Game of Thrones.
if you think of like the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit,
Yes.
Buddy Holly's the Father, Big Brother's his Son.
This goddamn
Richie
podcast got off the
Gallons
rails.
is the Holy Spirit,
Okay.
and that's where it is.
Okay.
That didn't even make sense. Like, what the fuck was that?
Kevin, you don't have much to argue against here. I mean, like, you got.
I don't even know my guy, and I think I'm gonna win.
I still think you can win.
You might be
Like,
able to win.
what the fuck was that?
It didn't even.
What the fuck was that?
I'm gonna go with 9 beers in.
Eddie Cochran would win because. Hold on, give me a minute.
I'm waiting for Google
I'm
to
on,
load.
I'm on a counter argument, right?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. He's not talking. You can. You keep
I'm,
going until he talks.
I'm going to wait for him to speak.
Oh.
Dave, you're so
What was the
filthy
fucking
drunk.
song you were talking about?
What's that?
was
Summertime Blues.
Summertime Blues against who? I don't
Buddy
even know.
Holly.
You made an argument. I don't even know who it
Buddy
was.
Holly.
That'll be the day.
Buddy Holly.
That'll be the day.
Day that
When
I
I say
die.
goodbye.
Well, I'm just gonna say
So you
Summertime
figured
Blues is a better fucking song.
So, Jeff, you did figure out why I've conceded here, right?
It's just a better
Well,
fucking
Like, this is
song.
gold.
This is gold. Okay, yeah, no, you were right to fucking concede.
I just want to hear
I don't
this.
even know
What
what to fucking
in
give this
the
to you. You
fuck
both
name?
fucking threw in the towel.
No, I didn't throw the towel.
Whoa, settle down there, maybe.
Name me 3 Buddy Holly songs. You win the point.
That'll be the day to die. Hold on.
He's actually like waving in his chair. Did you know that? He's gonna fall asleep. And then I'm gonna get a permanent marker and draw a tear on you.
Let him have it.
He capitulated. All right.
I'm gonna draw a prison tattoo on you to make it look like you were raped.
Peggy Sue.
Peggy Sue, yeah.
And Maybe Baby. That's another one of his songs. That'll be
This
the day.
is the biggest train wreck I've ever seen.
I'm honestly gonna
And I'm in
I'm
it.
giving none of you fucking points here because none of you
Attaboy.
deserve a point.
Neither of us deserves
You
a
should have
point.
gave me a point.
You're goddamn right. Neither of us deserves a
Jody
point.
gets a point. He's not even in this. That's how terrible you guys are.
I argued pretty well before, but that I didn't deserve a point
First
for that.
time in history.
Because that fucking song is better, is my only argument.
First time in history, a point has not been
A
awarded.
point's been scratched.
Dave could barely talk anymore.
Yeah. And he still remembered that was the first time in history
That nobody.
that nobody got a point.
Yeah, but he can barely communicate that fact.
Okay. Sports. What was the biggest blunder in sports history? There's no, like, one or the other. You gotta just fucking come up with it. Sorry. Biggest blunder. That
Biggest, like,
they look like the biggest
play?
idiot. Like, you know.
Or just like a scandal.
The only thing I can think
Blunder.
is fucking...
Like, they fucked up on the field. Or they
The
fucked up
only
on
thing I can think is Charlie Comiskey having the best team ever to take the field and not paying them enough so they didn't cheat.
1919?
1919.
Black Sox?
Yep.
I think that would qualify. For
He had the best team ever to take the field, and instead of winning, they decided to take money because they were fucking poor. He
Right.
didn't pay them enough. That's the biggest blunder.
Okay. That's an answer.
I would say I have just a good answer.
No, you don't. You're drunk.
I think he's slipping into Greek. What the fuck are you talking
I can't
about?
believe he hasn't come up with an answer. Like, this would be, like, automatic for him.
What if he wasn't 9 beers in or whatever he is?
The only thing I know about sports is what I've seen from movies.
Like, have you seen the movie 8 Men Out?
Yeah, I love it. It's
Yeah.
one of my
That's a good
favorite
movie.
movies.
Yeah.
I love it.
I don't even like baseball, and that was a good movie.
That's a great movie.
There's so many good actors in there.
Yeah.
I would say that movie.
What? Kevin gets the fucking point.
I'm reign supreme on sports.
I don't even know how.
Dave's like, I'm so loaded, I
Dave
can't
throws
listen.
the towel on the sports fucking category more than any other category. He doesn't even try. He's like, fuck it, I'm gonna talk about Lost.
Dave, you have an option for an actual legitimate win, and you're so fucking hammered, you're not going to be able to do it.
He's gotta get the next two right to win.
Yeah.
The fucking thing is, he's competing against someone who is probably equally as hammered.
Well, I don't know about that.
No, he's more hammered.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
History.
he's more hammered.
I think yeah.
This is one or the other, so Dave can win this one. If you had to live in either ancient Egypt or ancient Maya, what would you choose?
It's Egypt.
As what?
I didn't say,
That's a good point.
That's not the
Yeah, because
question.
if you're going to live as a slave, then...
You could say like
I'd go Maya.
You could
and
say
then
like Dave could say I'd be the pharaoh, or you could say I'd be a slave in Maya. Or, I don't give a fuck. Like, or you could be the pharaoh in fucking Maya, whatever they're called, chief. I don't know what they're called. But
Chief,
yeah.
Okay, well, you said it. Go for it. Try to string some words together, Dave.
Do you know where Egypt is? Let's
You know
start
what?
there.
You have to explain to me why you would want.
And
to
you
live
can't
in Egypt
use the same
over
argument
Maya.
I've already used.
Over Maya?
Over Maya.
They treat their citizens horribly.
Oh,
That's usually not a reason to live.
It's
Somewhere.
barely a reason to live. But you
Well-
know what? You know what's better than barely a reason to live? Living.
Did anybody else understand that?
no.
I can't wait to listen back to this. Maya.
It's not like being a muggle.
Oh, what?
What?
Now we're talking
Oh,
about
Harry Potter? Come on! I
Yes.
win! I'm not even gonna make an argument. I win. Come on.
If I was magical, which I am, you'd be dead.
I can't believe that's the only thing I understood that you said in the last 10 minutes.
I could.
Dave has actually tried in this round and given him the point just because I want to see what happens.
Oh, you fucker! I didn't even get to make an argument and Dave wins.
I am magic.
I didn't even get to. This is like the Chris round all over again. I didn't even get to make an argument and Dave gets
Well,
the fucking
Are you
point.
ready? Are you ready? Are you
I'm
ready?
not going to make an argument.
No, I didn't. I said I don't have to make an argument and I win.
Oh, I thought you
You
said
did technically say
Are you ready for sorcery?
Well, let's go. Keep going. I don't care.
I have magic. He doesn't.
Just being another illegitimate.
The reason
win
why
for
I gave
Dave.
him the point was because
He's struggling to breathe.
Yeah, I want to see his answer to this question. Because I know he's going to answer before you.
Because there's a very good chance he's going to pass
Go
it.
for it.
Yeah.
He's answered before me on everyone.
Convince me of what you
Oh, God.
think is the best beer in the world and why I should drink more of it.
It's a banana bread beer.
Shouldn't I get the point if he can't even say it?
He can't even say it. It's a.
I get the point.
No, you don't.
I said it.
That's your argument.
Yeah.
I get the point. I said it.
Banana bread beer. It's real.
It's It's not beer. It's beer.
Fucking train wreck.
This is awesome.
Oh my god!
I
How
wanna know
are
what
you
your
even
answer
gonna
is.
sign off? All right.
He's not. He's gonna pass out.
I'm gonna go with Innocent Guns rum finish beer.
You lose.
Oh, that stuff's good.
Banana bread beer wins.
It's
The banana
it's-
bread one isn't. I've had it.
It's oh god, the banana bread beer is an abomination. It's worse than grapefruit now.
How do you
No,
say
yeah,
that?
it's worse than grapefruit beer.
How do you say
He
that?
likes grapefruit beer.
How can I say that? How can you say anything?
I like grapefruit beer. I'll tell you that banana bread beer, scrumptious.
Okay, you drink pumpkin beer.
I drink it.
Yes, you do.
I drink it.
You sound like Bill Cosby there.
I drink it in the pudding pop.
I roofie the girl.
And you put a little thing in the drink, and then the girl's much more agreeable.
Innocent Gun is a beautiful tasting beer, caramel notes, 7% alcohol. It's fucking awesome. There's no better beer. Banana beer? How fucking pedestrian are you to fucking drink banana beer?
How dumb are you, sir?
You sobered up there. That was weird.
That was crazy.
Give it a minute.
Like, you feel this banana beautifulness hit your
Did
lips.
you just say to me, feel this banana?
I
No, I was like,
He's
you
coming
feel
at
this banana beautifulness hit your lips, and you are gonna deny it? Like, you're fucking silly.
It's awful.
We gotta get to. I gotta get to a speed round with Chris and Dave drunk as fuck. Those two, that would make this better than this.
It's Innocent Gun.
That's pretty good.
It's Innocent Gun, hands down, because at 7% you can get as drunk as you are.
At
And
7%,
still
you are as
taste
well untangle a cheermate in her chassis. You
I
know?
feel like both of you picked beers that are like really flavorful, right?
Well, that's kind of the question.
But I asked like, what should I drink more of?
A really flavorful beer.
Okay.
Jeff, it's definitely mine. The banana bread beer.
No, you should
You
not
haven't
drink
made
more than
any
banana
sort-
bread beer. It tastes like fucking banana bread.
It's awesome.
Why would you want to drink a beer that tastes like
Jeff,
fucking
you remember
banana
growing
bread?
up and
It
Mom
actually
would make
tastes
that
like
that
banana
chocolate
bread
chip
that
banana
has gone
bread.
bad.
I'm saying to you, the banana bread beer is exceptionally
Okay, who makes your banana bread beer?
the English.
English.
It's like who makes fucking chocolate one? The Belgians.
Innocent Gun makes my beer, and it's delicious.
I've had both.
7%.
In
These
between the
made
two,
beer by
it's
the
better.
fucking British and the Irish and fucking all that shit.
I
Ladies fucking
want
fucked
Dave
up.
to lose because I want to see the tyrant like little raid he does going. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Well, he's drunk.
Hey, you know what? I've brought Innocent Gun here and drank it. I've
I've
never seen him drink a banana beer. So if he won't drink
drank
more
it
of
so
it,
fast.
if he won't drink more of it, why should you?
He only drinks it by himself.
I
alone
drank
while he
it so fast.
masturbates.
It's gone. It's gone. It's fucking gone.
It's fucking gone. It's fucking gone. It's fucking gone.
I don't even know who I want to give it to because either way it's funny.
I think I made the better
This
argument.
I think you
dickhead
did too.
has done shit all. Don't write his name. Don't write his name.
I feel like I'm on Survivor. I just put one line.
Cast your vote.
Cast your vote. Dave.
Cass.
Was that me? Is that me? Not me?
No, that's not you.
For Kevin.
He's like, I'm getting another beer.
Made English.
It was made by the English.
No, not that it was made by English. I used words
That'd be
that
awesome.
resembled English.
You know, it'd be awesome if he pulls out a fucking banana bread beer right now. That'd be awesome.
Wait a minute. I'm at the banana beer.
Fuck. I know I'm drunk, but Jesus
Do you want a
Christ.
sound cam, bro?
Please don't start talking about your mother.
That's our mother, Jeff.
Amsterdam.
Are you prepared to see her?
All right, so apparently, Dave, we gotta sign off.
No.
This is the first podcast where we were like, we gotta sign off. He's like, no, we don't have to sign
Fucking
off.
I lost. Fucking banana bread beer should have won.
Dave's gonna start
Like, you
the
can
first
fucking
official,
Any fucking beer. Other
Well, you
than
can't
like
just
one
stop
of
it.
those flavorful gay beers. I mean,
Alright, sign off.
We gotta sign off. Did you stop it or is it
No,
going?
we have a speed round.
You were just in it,
You were just in the speed round.
Me?
Yeah, and you lost.
yeah, Kevin.
What?
Oh, wow.
No.
This is the best day of my life.
I thought no, I won.
We have to have a speed.
You what?
You just did the speed round and you lost.
Me?
I conceded, so you and Kevin were in the speed round.
Jeff.
You came close. You argued terribly on a couple of these arguments, like
I know.
like sports.
Jeff even gave you a few. I didn't even get to argue sports. No, the history.
History.
What? I didn't even get to argue history. He gave you the point without ever hearing me out, and you still lost.
I know I won that point, but forfeit.
Alright, Dave's in business mode now. He's gonna sign off.
For all of us here at Trivial Debate.
Now he can form English
Why
words.
is Dave Ron Burgundy?
I'm drunk Mater.
For all of us
I am also drunk, Mater.
at KWP Trivial Debates, it's Dave Mater signing off. Like,
Somebody has to do it, you fuck.
We should have a speed round.
This is a fucking train.
I'm gonna go with. I
can't believe Chris is not here, and this is a train wreck.
yeah, Chris isn't even here. Like I said, imagine Chris and Dave drunk as fuck in a speed round. That I would pay.
We have to make that happen.
We have to make it happen. Yeah.
But for the record, Chris would be way more coherent.
I don't think so.
At this point?
At this point,
Not
yeah.
if Chris had drunk as much as Dave.
No, not at all.
Okay, battle. Me versus Chris.
We'll have to set something
If
up.
you drink the same amount, you're going to be more sober because Chris gets more drunk fast. I find.
Who won you?
Well, it wasn't you, sir.
Yes, I won.
Shockingly, you were a point away. The music fucking category was terrible. I scratched both of you from this.
So for all of us here at Trivial Debates, I'm Dave Mader, and I would like to give a special thanks to all of our listeners who have followed us to the great beyonds.
I think he just kind of threw up a little.
No.
Oh.
Alright, anyway,
For the
you're
record, Jody Simpson's a fucking asshole, and for all of our hosts here, we have
For all of them.
Jody didn't even do anything. I don't even know why he's an asshole.
I gave
today.
up my spot so you could go to the speed round and you fucked it up.
As a matter of fact, Jody was very kind to you this podcast
I was.
compared to others.
Well, I'm used to the mean Jody.
Okay.
That's all the time, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Only most of the time. No.
Only most of the time, not all of the
It's like 90% of the time.
Yeah,
about 90.
It's not even 90. It's like
Holy
it's
fuck.
like 82.
That's a fucking specific number.
Well, at least he's got it.
My brother Jeff, he had some good jokes, I guess. And then like Kevin, like he totally brings it home.
Oh, fuck, I won, but I still get a glowing recommendation here from drunk Dave Mader.
Like, we're time jumping on this audience, and for all of us here,
We're doing
Kevin won the episode.
Yes, I did. I'm glad you remember what happened 10 minutes ago.
Unfairly.
unfair.
I so bad wanted to give you the point, you kept digging a hole.
You picked banana beer! Banana bread beer! And you couldn't say it!
I hope you can see the fucking paradox in the situation.
I can't wait until you listen back to this episode and you go, I guess Jeff was right. I mean, I probably wouldn't have given me the point either.
We're gonna listen back to this episode of Jeff. Jeff was never right. Jeff was fucking...
Alright, so who's hosting next?
Me.
You?
Yeah.
And I'm not getting the point.
Let us sign off now.
The best thing is I can drink as much as I want and I'm never the drunkest person here.
No, because as long as Chris or Dave is here, they will get drunk faster, probably. Yeah. Especially Chris.
Alright, let's sign off.
I'm Dave Mader.
I'm Dave Mader.
I'm Dave Mader.
I'm definitely Dave Mader.
Thank you for listening to Trivial Debates.
We should all be more like Dave Mader.
You know what
The
this
world
podcast
needs more Dave Mader.
This podcast needs more drunk Dave Mader.
More drunk Dave and Chrissy.
We yell at him, but we love Dave Mader.
Dave Mader signed off.